into the match. Just playing to the saber of the Hero Brillion, the MVP of the split, the prodigy of prodigies. So like pressure is on their side. I'm just a noob here playing. So yeah, I mean, yeah, I will try to match him.
Okay, because he said there's not enough challenge, and that's why it's so easy for him to be MVP of the split. But if there's one guy where I'm thinking of that won't take that lightly, it's you. So are you gonna show him today?
I mean, of course, I'm bringing the MVP back with me today.
Ooh. All right. Then we will see it today, everyone. MKOI versus Vitality is gonna be an absolute banger. It's gonna be Merwin versus Nagnako for the top lane glory. Let's see it.
Will he take back the MVP with him? Or is Nagnako just going to casually walk into this against someone he said hasn't really woken up yet? In our opening MVP interview, my name's Sturks. I'm joined by Finn and Dagda as we take you into MKOI versus Vitality. Two of what I would say are the craziest teams in the LEC that kind of risk it for the biscuit is a light way of putting it.
I mean, risk it for the biscuit is one way of putting it, but absolutely, I think today is the series I've been looking forward to the most, because to me, I have such a hard time predicting which team will come out on top, because I would say MKOI is the better team, because we haven't seen Vitality in quite some time, but their show during the regular season was amazing, Dagda.
Yeah, that's the thing. They had their last series up against Fnatic, which was a little while ago, so we're going to have to wait and see exactly what they can bring to the table here, but I'm excited either way. Like, you're saying risk it for the big skid. I'm saying sun's out, guns out, because both these teams want to bring everything to the table today, and especially when it comes to the draft, I think it's going to be so interesting. You already heard the desk kind of talking about what Alvaro has been doing and bringing out these new kind of more melee supports, but also when you look at Vitality, their drafts can be bonkers sometimes. So if we start to get later in this series, I'm curious what that's going to look like.
I mean, we all remember the TF 80 carry Seraphine Braum draft that Vitality did early in spring.
Sadly, we do. Yes.
And that was a game-free Fearless. We might be in for 5 games today of Fearless, so we have to see if they have improved it as we are now into first draft. Already Orianna, Nocturne being taken away from the side of Vitality, as MKOI is taking out Flesh's Bard, who has been very dominant.
But these are different bands of what we saw only yesterday in the best.
I ljudi moji, dobar dan i dobrodošli, evo nas u još jednom danu leca, a danas mnogo bliža serija nego ona koju smo gledali juče, bar tako prognoza kaže.
It looks like they're just going to go towards that Ashe Seraphine combo instead.
I mean, we'll see if they lock in the Seraphine as well, because Alvaro, while he has played Seraphine, has sometimes not looked the most comfortable on this random champion, so you could also have a different bot lane pairing with it. You could also go for the Ashe Lulu if you really want to. As we will see what Vitality's answer will be. Anivia yesterday was first picked by Blue side in the first series, so is a champion of very high prior right now in our league.
Anivia možda flex na topu, to još trebamo da vidimo.
Triple flex for Vitality to open up.
Yeah, also a lot of pinch on the jungle pool as well, right? Zinzao, Nocturne, Jarvan, Pantheon gone. So, you know, Vi, Wukong, these kind of picks are rising up in priority, and be curious to see if Vitality want to try and take something early here, or if they end up just going towards like a Rumble or the Ezreal Dancer.
I mean, it will just be the Ezreal on Carsey. One of his most comfort picks. The Karma is ready to take on free as well if you want to. If you're willing to drop that jungle position even further, you probably should take the Karma now. As the Cassio will be the answer. We saw this yesterday from G2 in the top lane, but this one might go mid lane, is what I would assume. Also thinking about the Skarner, I think is a very high prior pick right now in these situations. I think just getting some frontline is really valuable when you have these squishy laners.
Nami comes up. Okay, so Karma was available, but they're like, no, we're going to pick up the Nami instead. Maybe break a duo later down the Fearless draft, but regardless for Fleshy, give a little bit more wide range of berth for engage.
Koga verujete ljudi, šta kažete? Čekamo sam stavim glasanje.
You want Linces to be on some sort of engage champion, so Skarner, Wukong, Vi, all still options, and I imagine that Vitality will start to ban away some answers in towards the jungle pool here as they get that first pick on the next rotation. And then it's kind of on MKOI to see how they want to respond.
Mislim, meni iskreno svejedno ko dobije, ne navijam nešto jako ni za jednu ni za drugu stranu, ali možda bi bilo bolje da Vitality izdominira, nemam pojma.
We'll see where it ends up going with that.
So then we're going to start questioning things like the Rumble as well. Things like Renegade, maybe other tanks like the Cassante that might sit up there blindable. With the Vayne ban as well, maybe it is MKOI thinking that they're going to stick Mirwin on a Gnar for this first game, but I mean, he's had one game during the split. I don't think of Mirwin as the biggest Gnar player. as Nefiri is the final ban for Vitality.
I think it's just that Vayne does well into a lot of the blind pick champions at the moment, so trying to get rid of that. Maybe they go for a Varus or something like a Jace here as well. Just you already got a decent amount of poke and zone control already coming through from Vitality, so maybe you're nervous about that.
Yeah, I mean also when you have Yash, Seraphine, Cassio core, you really want your tank to be either top or jungle. And maybe they expect that fact
Moramo slikamo, stavimo na stvari hejter. Znaš šta je fora? Nije da hejtujem, nego mislim da bi bio veći hype da...
which we saw yesterday played by Yike, had a great game on that, so is a rising meta jungle champion as well, but still Skarner available, there's still some jungles available if you really want to dig deep.
Yeah, okay. I know Dagda already talked about things like the Vi as well, which would be follow-up. I like that. Vi, where else do we go with that, Dagda? Because Sinzhao's gone, Jarvan's gone.
Yeah,
Wukong you mentioned.
There, yeah, but I think, Vi, just get that point and click engage. Especially against something like the Cassiopeia, having that easy engage that can't be interrupted is always pretty nice. And then we just see what MKOI are going to try and respond with.
Yeah, I mean, you really want the tank here somewhere. With Narban, I would expect a Cassante blind pick here from Mirwin.
Navijemo za Lukizija, fair.
In the lane, but will still be a Cassante nonetheless in the mid to late game. You still need that front line from somewhere as Yoyo is hovering. Many different junglers. Think it's going to be the Wukong. Yeah, it is the most stock standard here. Wukong Vi has been meta for so long against each other. But I would expect this to be a Cassante blind pick here by Mirwin or a tank.
Yeah, or in the other option here as well if they really want to go towards it. But I do like the Wukong as a setup alongside the Seraphine as well. That ult extension working alongside the Wukong is incredibly nice for those team fights. And I think, yeah, just lock in that for Mirren. And then it is a case of, like, do we end up with this Anivia Flex still going to the top side?
Iskoro sam šerovo, Instagram sam isto šerovo. Pojedemo malo više što mi je ostalo i lagani chillus game.
One of the reasons we started seeing Anivia top was because of the Rumble meta that was so prevalent before. Everyone was just banning Rumble and it was hard to find an answer, but it would be the Syndra lock-in here for Humanoid.
Ko ima mnogo više teamfight alata. Pogledajte im kom samo. Oni da promaše 3 ulta i dalje viniju fight ako pogode 2 dobra. Znači ovo je naj-teamfight komp koji sam vidio u skorije vreme.
As you said, match up into the Rumble.
And I think it rounds out the comp really well, right? Vitality have a ton of poke. They've got like non-committal CC that they can throw with like the Nami wave and the Syndra stun as well, just to try and kite back if they want to. And then have that Vi to look for that all in. And when you look at MKOI, there's a huge...
Mislim da za koje odgovara se ništa ne događa. Jer mislim da ako dođe od team fightova trebali bi skroz da bude okej.
So a worry when it comes to MKOI games of mine is that when MKOI doesn't have a clear way to engage, I feel like they sometimes get a little bit impatient. Because usually when you play comps like this, you have the Ash Seraphine, you have the Rumble follow-up, you're kind of poking and prodding, trying to find like, see the advantages and trying to find like health bars advantages, but you play really slow. But MKOI has a tendency when playing these comps to go really, really fast, and against something like a Syndra and an Anivia, that can get punished super heavily in these later team fights. So we need to see them develop their patience, and we need to see them coming with a lot of discipline today, coming into the later fights.
No discipline against Vitality, gets easily punished.
Dobri kasteri. Mislim, lepo pričaju tačan razvoj događaja.
This matchup should deliver. This matchup should be a banger. Both of them are very bloody teams. And as I said, it risk it for the biscuit. What was yours, Dagda? Guns out, guns out. This is the vibe you're going to get from MKOI versus Vitality. The winner of this guarantees top 3, a best of 5 against G2 to lock in finals and MSI. Essentially, if you win this best of 5, you have a 66% chance of going to an international where Vitality have only ever been to one before in 2018.
If you put your eyes, as maybe Lindsay is in trouble.
Mirwin is going to run into this. Elyoya comes in as well. This does indeed flash as much by Elyoya, double flash as well. Mirwin, remember, he's just going to auto him down in its first blood with Elyoya's invade.
And I mean, people said that when the map changed like this, you cannot do level 1 plays anymore, but here MKOI's prep is fantastic. Planned out as level 1 to secure a lead for Elyoya and Mirwin already. Mirwin will not have a slash up, but still very happy for if you're an MKOI fan right now.
And I think Lindsay has been one of the linchpins for Vitality in the early stages of the game, where he's been so crucial on keeping his lanes in check, controlling what the enemy jungler is able to do. Setting Lindsay behind sets Vitality's early game in a bedlam.
I mean, especially because Vi is already one of our slower junglers in the meta,
Yep.
but also Vi is a champion that really needs to get to level 6 spike as soon as possible. So delaying that for Lunsas is going to cause that window of opportunity for Vitality to delay so much.
And enveloping that as a Wukong as well for someone like Elyoya is a recipe for success. If you didn't see Madrid, Elyoya really stepped up to the plate. We got the old remnant of the carry Mad Lions jungler, and I'm glad to see again that he's in the spotlight coming into playoffs, especially when Vitality had this MVP level performance from not only top, but jungle as well.
But Lunsas is now completely jobless. He's doing his bot side camps, and he would love to go in here and take Elyoya's bot side camps with this extended timer, because Elyoya will be clearing these camps, so this would be a great time to punish for him. But look at the lanes. Cassio is pushing in mid. Ash Serpin has pushed in bot. I don't think Lunsas can actually afford to invade this, so he might end up falling super blind there. But they did just based on a ward.
Yeah, there was some ward set up by MKOI to try and spot this out. Cassiopeia had set a ward over by the Raptors, but that has timed out, so maybe he can try and play around the vision. But I do agree with you, with the position that he's in, this is a very risky play, especially with the Ashe who can use her E to spot it out as soon as Super ticks over to 3 in just a moment.
Oh, look at him. He's looking for mid gank right now because he doesn't have any other play. But look at Jojo's positioning. He's hovering topside.
That's really good, but Jojo in Scatter the Week also connects. Humanoid was low. He was bait Vault Breaker, but not going to be used to go in. Jojo has enough mana to set down the Noxious Blast as well as the Miasma. And look at Humanoid's health bar as he has to TP back in.
And it's a horror early game right now. Look, Elyoya is actually going to go topside and take the topside crab first because he realizes that there's no way for Lunsas to take any bot side camps if he gets this. Massive, massive early leader for Elyoya. Lunsas is now completely jobless. He's trying to find any ganks anywhere he can find them.
I mean, topside now he thinks, but look at where Mirwin is. He can electro harpoon the wave.
Možda proba da dive top, ja bih rekao. Jel ovdje samo, mislim, ja ne znam, jel on ne zna šta se događa ovdje? Izgleda ne znam.
TP going to be used mid as well, so it's not like the mid pro that Humanoid can get from the bounce back from the TP can do anything.
He's just waiting.
But he's going to be waiting forever. The whole bot side up and available. Linz's massive time waste. Look at the CS rise for Elyoya.
This is a horror early game for Vitality right now.
And great read from Mirwin. Like, that wave is pushing out from, but he is playing that so slow in the top side, making sure there's absolutely no way that he's gankable. And now Linz's will just have to wait for his camps to come back up, but he's 12 CS to 30.
I mean, I'm sure Elyoya in comms is right now. Guys, game is completely free. Just do not die to a Vi gank, I beg you, because she can only really look for cheesy ganks right now. Look, he hasn't base yet. 16 CS to Elyoya, soon to be 40.
Well, Lensis, as he does his Raptors, trying to get back into the game. It seems like mid would be the only angle, but Jojo, as he steps up, usually hovering around jungle side. I'm not sure about that ward cooldown as well, because that will be able to spot out Raptors. It's all grayed out on my screen, which means it is probably on cooldown, which means no more information gathered. Pathway down here for Lensis at level 4, but it's 19 to 40. Finn was not kidding when he called him jobless, homeless a couple of times here. As he tries to catch up, level lead for Elyoya.
But this is the thing now, right? So Linz is going to clear the 2 camps, reset.
Ok, ako je Finn to rekao, ima smisla, Finn u stvari zna šta se događa. Ovo ne dobiješ protiv Ashu selfie nikako.
And level 6 in a low bot lane.
Flashy could be in trouble here. He's being run down with lethal tempo. The slow is enough. The flash has to be burned. And MKOI on a steamroll in this early game.
I mean, MKOI is just playing this early game flawlessly right now, pressuring exactly when they need to. Elyoya will be spotted on the ward there, but look, with the pressure they have from Super and Alvaro, it's not like Lunsas can gank this. There's no health bars to play off of. They're just gonna now take the recall, take their plate, come back with an...
Ovo je toliko shit game za Linka, se vama ne mogu da opišem. Kuko ne radi ništa ovdje.
Super did get a reset level 2 to pick up the early cull that already set him up with an advantage as well. So the bot lane individually is in a great spot. Jungle's winning huge. And we already saw Jojo beating the crap out of Humanoid in the mid.
Šta ćemo s midom 20 CS razlike?
They're winning across the board.
And we didn't get to really siphon into this early game talking more about the drafts, but it does feel like to me Vitality are built on the fact of what individual targets, a lot of pick style composition, but if that falls behind, if you can't get the damage for individual targets, then what?
I mean, absolutely. Like, look at this comp. Like, all of the things I said before about MKOI having to play slow, engage carefully, kind of changes when they're up to like 5k gold if they are at like 20 minutes.
Yeah, okay.
Because then you can just force any single fight that you want here. Lunsas, once again, trying to invade, trying to get some kind of vision. Mirwin is a little bit pushed out, but he has the equalizer. In theory, he could just ult this and then back out if he thinks he's in any danger, as he will rightfully do right now.
Naka needs a stun now and a crystallize. Flash Frost not going to be connected. Mirwin gets slow, but he's running back in. A little bit greedy. He's right in the eye of the storm as well. He's going to overheat. A Vault Breaker going to be used. And Mirwin
Mirwin hard griefuje. U 3 života ne smiješ ovdje od 2 i da umreš.
And Miran knew it. He was trying to play patient, but he saw the Naka was looking to freeze the wave and stepped up, and it was to his demise. Miran getting caught out. At least
Naravno, pazi, naravno da je Nako prišao da uvati freeze, jer moraju da ga izbituju da priđe. Jer je Vaj u fazonu jako, ne dobijem kill, ja mogu Alt F4 bacim.
Good little mind game there by Naka, just faking that he would freeze this wave, because there's no way Anivia can freeze a wave this big in general. So Mirwin should have known better.
When he does get caught out, you can see here, steps up as Nako looks to freeze the wave, and Mirwin then got caught out. So Dragon trade for MKOI, level 6 still there for Wukong as well, and you can see Linces has only just ticked over to level 5, so I still think there's moments where Elyoya could try and have an impact before Linces hit 6, but he's very quickly approaching that ultimate.
Right, well, ulti's up all along the board as well. Enchanted Crystal Arrow, Wukong ulti. Anyone going to get flash frosted here once again? Naka's doing some pretty good damage now with the blasting wand as well. His tier stacking up too. Doesn't have TP for what that's worth, so we'll see.
Linces is going to set up a tent top right now, because with Mirwin dying there, like suddenly you have one lane that is winning. You're one lane that can actually make plays. So you see him now has looped around because his bot side is getting invaded. He has no other play than to just sit top and pray.
Yeah, I mean, the push and bot lane is setting up so easily for Elyoya. But Mirwin again, overextended. At least Vi still clearing the camps at the moment. Just ticked over to 6.
He needs to equalize our next wave right now in this recall, because he's in such a bad spot by himself. He could go and check for Linces right now.
A little 5 Elyoya goes into fog, pulls out the cyclone, the stun down, the arrow layers down everything on Fleshy and on Core as well. True Shot Barrage gets buffered, but now Kazi in trouble. Tries to find Elyoya, but the damage is still good enough from Alvaro. He's hitting everything right now as Kazi tries to kite and weave, but he's bonked. Alvaro didn't miss on the Seraphine, and MKOI's dive is a success.
Huge play from MKOI, punishing the fact that Karzi and Fleshy were separated. Flesh was trying to get back into lane. Managing to get all the camp stolen and the double kill. That's such a massive swing for MKOI.
I mean, it's a huge pick-up for MKOI, because you need to get the advantage bot side right now with top lane bleeding as much as it is. Like, sure, Elyoya is ahead, but you really want Supa and Alvaro to kind of trail him with that gold lead to kind of build something greater than just an individual gold lead. And now, as we see this replay, Flesh is walking in, and you see here, Kars is too far to kind of help him, and it's just such an easy play. Sure, he doesn't have flash, so what is he going to do realistically on a Wukong jumping on his skull?
Yeah.
And you kind of knew that this was the case, right? You knew that Elyoya wasn't in his top side because Linces was stealing it away, so you kind of knew that he was on the bot end, but unfortunately there's nothing that Vitality can do when they're separated like that.
Flesh is now also left bots. They've completed the lane swap now. They're putting the Anivia into the Ash Seraphine and gonna see if she can wave clear a little bit, but now we have the weak laners versus the strong laners now, mismatch. So it's not Nako being left alone.
He just dies
versus 3, there is
Oni ga dajmo, moraš shota wave.
He burns a flash before he does, and that means Super's going to take turret aggro.
Pa dobro.
Elyoya gets out, but now the passive is down. Super takes plating with him as well. As the minion wave clears, MKOI still got a little bit out.
Mislim da je Vol malo isto ovo.
They might have been able to look for a redive if Super hadn't taken that last shot. They could have reset tower aggro and maybe tried to go again, but it would have been risky, especially with Linces coming out on the bottom side. Do get the egg though, so maybe there's a little more they can look for later.
It's not going to hit Jojo, but it is going to sweep through bottom lane. I believe pings are coming in, and MKOI aren't going to walk into it, so Naka was kind of saved by a bit of global pressure. As MKOI do back off, no redive as stated, and Linces now looking for another lane.
I mean, it's still very good that Nako made the conscious decision to walk up on that wave, because if you
Dve
drop that
trešnje
wave,
mogu pričam o
there's so many plates going over in the favor of MKOI, and by tanking that with his egg actually now delayed that snowball just a little bit. We saw Mirwin equalizing the wave on top. And looks like the bottom of Vitality might base here, and they're going to want to swap back now, because I think Nako realizes, I really want to play against Mirwin, I'm winning this matchup.
I think it's also with the egg gone and Wukong ult.
Tako, samo mogu pričam ko čovjek. U suštini, iskreno jako lepo od koja, bar ovo što vidimo za sad. Razmišljam šta je play Vitality, ali Vitality s ovim kompom verovatno mora da ima neku formu momentuma. U suprotnom nisam najsigurniji kako će moći da igra. Jer kao što sam i rekao, mislim da koji samo ima mnogo više teamfight alata, tako da ako game bude even, nisam najsigurniji na što će to da liči za njih.
to moving to the next objective.
I mean, especially with this item advantage in the jungle position, you really want to force fights right now. And Dragon coming up is the opportunity to do just that. Super taking a little bit of poker by Carsey, landing some really good mystic shots. Don't think it'll be enough for him to grant a big lead to fight this Dragon. But this will be the new avenue. See, Lunsas has snuck into the bush here.
S tim da je ko izgubio dosta teamfight alata do kraja serije, ovo je best of 5, tako da uvek postoji to kao neki argument, vidjet ćemo šta će se dogodi tokom ove čitave serije.
He's a sitting duck if he walks too far up.
I mean, you see, like, Elyoya is super strong, but his laners are now being the one being pushed in. So getting this fight, getting this position in river to start his Dragon is looking really difficult. You see him kind of wavering between both bot and mid lane, trying to find anywhere that he can push, walk in with the boys and just start his Dragon. But he's wasted a lot of time right now.
Yeah, I do think they're kind of waiting, though, because with that ultimate not up for Super, I don't know if you feel fully comfortable trying to find these engages and fights initially to start things off. So I think they may need just to hang on until that's up. So Nerdy back up and available. They will start it up on Vision, but the reset mid for Humanoid, there's not much of a contest for Vitality here.
No. There's the jungle topside opening up on Red. Lens is still just playing the game of catch up, as you know. So double dragons with the stats included. And the sprint beeline to Soul at this point seems pretty easy. It's going to be an Ocean Soul game as well. As let's see. I mean, Vitality on the back burner.
Ocean Soul Ueza da ga isključi, da. Što je najče od svega, ovo je najverovatniji game za koji, osim ako se ovakve stvari ne izdogađaju.
That's exactly what you don't do against Syndra. Especially with the Blackfire Torch there, the burn just enough to finish off Super. An unforced error there from the MKOI carry.
I mean, a head scratcher, you gotta say, for Supa. Feels very confident now walking up on the mid wave, but against the Syndra, as you guys clearly highlighted, it's not always the best decision as a poor little AD carry. Humanoid had the item completion and just has the damage to null and stop that attempt in its tracks.
And it does nullify kind of the advantage that Jojo Puna built, right? Now Humanoid actually gets a nice influx of gold. He's going to get some of the shards off that as well. He's in a much better spot now to actually try and contest some of the item completions for Jojo. Yeah, just a weird play from Super.
And I mean, we highlighted that we wanted MKOI to show discipline and patience in this series, especially with a draft like this. That was not a very good display of discipline and patience by Super. He really just wanted to kill the guy that was in front of him, a little bit overzealous. Still, Elyoya very strong on this Wukong, and they really need to play around Elyoya because he is the main character right now for their game. And making solo plays as your solo laners or side laners is not really the correct call.
Yeah. Is there going to be a play here from Lensis, though? Potential dive as Humanoid's trying to hard push the wave.
He was spotted, though, and you can see them move down from Ashe and Seraphine as well to help cover. So MKOI fully aware that this might be happening.
Yeah, Mirren buying a Null Magic Mantle and the Doran's Helmet actually makes him quite tanky into the side lanes against the Anivia and the Syndra. Just having that extra MR kind of means the Scrap Shield blocks so much of the incoming damage, and you can kind of just walk up and clear waves and be fine. Realizes that he will be weak side for most of this game. He's kind of playing that role well now.
Lensis looking across, though. Elyoya went for the invade. Lensis obviously a little bit earlier on the red steel, but it's still Raptors there for Elyoya, who has a full level lead. Lensis not going to spot him out just yet. He kind of knows. Vault Breaker into this brush instead. And the Krug's up for contention, but Elyoya is just going to back away. Hover around mid while Scuttle will just be the peace prize.
I mean, it's very hard for Vitality to try and defend their jungle because you constantly have push with Supa in the mid wave, which means that then you're able to rotate Alvaro and Supa in towards the jungle invade and even put threat on towards Nako as well, which means he's not really able to step up and contest wave states either. So you're in a really awkward spot as Herald spawns where how do you try and group up as a unit as Vitality?
Znaš šta je fora? Mislim, iskreno ne mogu da mnogo krivim Linkasa, jer ovaj game je dumpsterovan od levela 1. Jako meni igriva partija. Znači, on imao 20 tipa 2-3 CS-a, kad je Elyoya imao 1-0-45 CS-a. Pola njegove džungle je također bilo uzeto, tako da Linkas ovaj game baš ne može da igra. Znači, taj level 1 firstbot što je pao, mnogo ga je shutdownovao. Iz te pozicije kao jungler, pogotovo kao Va, je nehumano teško igrati. Kažem opet, pogotovo specifično Va. Znači, Va je baš jako težak hero iz igru kad si behind, jer ti nemaš outs, Va, ti samo imaš in. Ti možda klikneš R, možda... Uff. Dobro, lep predikt. možda forsiraš fight, ali mimo toga, mislim, ako odlučiš da ipak ne želiš, ti si samo mrtav. Kao Leona, bukvalno ista stvar.
I think that was definitely
we laugh about it, but actually now going up to this dragon fight, this means Carsey has no cleanse, so that mistake might come back and bite him later. It will be difficult for him to play against a potential flash pad frank raised by Jojopin or an arrow, because that will be up and available for this dragon spawn, so might actually end up mattering a lot in this coming fight.
Won't be laughing about it then. Elyoy angle up in the top lane. Nak goes quite deep.
It's so hard to gank in Anivia. He has Swift his boots. He's so fast.
Equalizer's going to start it though. Flash Frost onto Elyoy.
Da, ne, lagano, zato ti govorim, kapiram da nisi gledao start, pa kao da znaš da nije linka solo interčina sad, nego samo mu je nigrid game. A fore što koji opet ima mnogo više teamfight presence, ti kad pogledaš realno šta koji sve radi, pogledaj mu ulte. Znači koji komotno možda promaši 3 ulte iz 2 ulti dalje da dobije svaki fight. Samo ne treba i dintaju, što je upravo ono što rade, tako da to baš malo ne opravdava ono što se događa.
What do you think of the trade, gents?
I mean, it's a fight in mid and top at the same time, but in the end, I think Vitality actually came out on top of this, because look at the position for Dragon. We know that MKOI really
Vitality ima mnogo jači pick komp, s druge strane, ko ima 70 puta više alata za team fightove. Znači oni komotno mogu promašati 3 od 5 ulti i dalje će vinati fight. Serafin u Rumble combo shota sve, Wukong u Rumble shota sve, Ashe, Serafin, znači toliko imaju potencijala da rade šta god hoće.
He's going to get the smite down. Good Acro Prism. Flash Frost as well. The stuns galore on Alvaro. He gets bursted down. Crystallize as well. Stuck in the glacial zone. But forward, Nucko. Sneaky with the bird. Ice cold as well.
There's a few plays that are starting to bring this back for Vitality. Suddenly that gold lead has disappeared, and it's not looking as clean cut for MKOI. There's been a couple of mistakes that are starting to bite them now.
I mean, Vitality is doing such a good job at finding these small little angles in the overconfidence of MKOI. Sure, I'm not going to comment on that first Ashe def on mid, but these other ones are really been just good forces by Vitality, realizing that they need to cross map, they need to find plays that are extraordinary, and now getting that dragon has bought them a lot of time, and the gold lead, as you say, my gentleman, has neutralized.
And I do think, again, I mean, Soul Lane's Nucko with a play there, but Humanoid as well, being able to, let's call it outclass super. And Linces being able to do a lot with not much in this early game.
Yeah, this is one of the things I've been most impressed with Linces, is really understanding where he can be and how to influence the map at certain points of time. Unfortunately, though, this definitely feels like a MKOI are going to get this tower. It's incredibly low. Rib Tower doesn't even need to be used, as they find that timer where Vitality had just gone for the reset. So that still is open if they want to try and use that to get that last remaining outer tower in the bot lane.
Yeah, and already sees Humanoid has picked up the Crypt Bloom super early, just rushing the magic penetration because he realizes we have an Anivia, we have a Syndra, we also have a Nami. There's going to be a lot of MR coming our way, so I think clever itemization choice by him. Also has a little heal thing, but I think it's mostly for the CDR he chose it over the Void Stat.
Nak je nevjerovatno clean. Nak je vjerovatno jedan od najpozitivnijih iznenađenja ove sezone LEC-a. Od kad je ušao, mislim, imali smo mi očekivanja dosta za Naka kada je ulazio u LEC, ali realno gledano mislim da je ono što je problem što su imali puno očekivanja za mnogo ljudi i mnogo ljudi koji su ušli u LEC nisu ispunili ta očekivanja. Sad opet koliko ste pratili LEC, koliko niste, recimo bio jedan specifičan support iz Francuske, Zoelis. Bilo je jako mnogo očekivanja da će on biti ono sljedeća najveća stvar u LEC-u. Zato što je u LFL-u bio turbo agresivan, imao je tipa najviše first bloodova u... Imao je najviše solo killova u LFL-u, što je jako velika stvar. Međutim, kažem opet, eto recimo, on se tu pojavio i definitivno nije ništa wow uradio, kao nije bilo ništa spec.
Shutting them down in the setup to me will be key in these coming fights, because you either got to be super early on the objective or you got to have a deep sideline push.
And you do have these kind of like two safe zones, right? Like if you're MKOI, it's kind of in this position here where you kind of have this joint safety map.
Tako da ako ništa, drago mi je da je Nak u stvari ispunio ono što smo očekivali od njega.
So it is TP for TP trade as Humanoid tried to pop the ult, and Mirwin was close to dying for what it's worth.
Yeah, Mirwin is gonna go top now, push out top, or at least catch it, and then just TP down for this dragon, because it is in 1 minute and 20 seconds that the 4th dragon of the game will be spawning, and that will be the next fight avenue for both these teams. I want to look out for the Vi-Nami combo, because Vi with the Nami follow-up is actually a super good pick tool.
Jedino pitanje za Naka koliko Anivija možda nosi, mislim to je pitanje. Da li i koliko Anivija možda napravi neku razliku.
If we dumbed it down and we're just looking for who pulls the trigger, like essentially like Ash Arrow, Cassiopeia ult, Rumble ult.
It's more about like finding people off on their own like this, where they're maybe in transition or overextended.
All right, Dagda says it, and here it comes. Miasma saves time, but a flash, cease and desist. There's Alvaro to help out as well, but the bonk back and encore onto 2 members. Arrow to slow the play down. A petrifying gaze onto Lynn. He's down. One fang, and now another makes twin. As Jojo looks for the chase, a TP coming in. Mirwin flashes as well. Nucko cornered Pierce, but Humanoid as well. Scout of the week saves him. He is alive. He builds the range. He finds his way. Super comes up. Aqua Prison dodged away. Here's Kazi with a big bonk. Dagda calls out the play in the back.
Big bonk.
We're going to see what's happening there, but meanwhile, True Shot Barrage almost. Scrap Shield saves Mirwin's life as Vitality look for the chase. They've got Sustain with Fleshy. They want to go again.
Look at Elyoya, he's still staying around here in the bot-side river. He was not in this fight. Your strongest member in MKOI was not here in this fight. Still has that flash, still has that cyclone. This is his play to make.
It's because Dragon's up. He wants to try and look for something around this, but MKOI trying to really establish himself as Nako. Smells that something's up.
Flash Frost, it's a real Wukong. Frostbite as well, Scout of the week.
Jeste. Nako je baš jedan od ljudi koji jako bi se iznenadio da ne ostane u letu, što više, ne znam, da G2 traži recimo zamenu, ne bi me čudilo da njega zovu. Kao stvarno je dokazao da zaslužuje svoje mesto, vratite kako. Bro, Mirwin 2 puta za redom već rundown, ja ne znam šta je ovom čoveku. I iskreno mislim da sljedeće godine koje menja roster. Ili coacha ili igrače, ali mislim će nešto da menjaju sljedeće godine.
They're approaching, but Anivia completely nullifies that by just walling you out. So greedy by Mirwin gets caught out, but still, Dragon secured by MKOI.
Arrow, True Shot Barrage going to follow up, but an encore. Nucko has to flash away. There's the Wukong Cyclone. Finally, Elyoya finds the bird going into the egg. It's a win so far. Cyclone denies him. Petrifying against Linson. Caught in his traps again, but Scuttle Week. A 2-man. Linson pulls off the ulti before he dies. As Kazi tries to fire, but MKOI have shields for days. Elyoya with the chase to Jojo at the front line. The twin fang, the noxious blast. MKOI won't stop here. Scuttle Week again.
Šta mislimo o Nemeu? Mislim da je giga talentovan, brate, sad to što nije on nešto što ono neće da igra i to za svaku ekipu, mislim fair, brate. Ima, brate, svoj stream, realno zarađuju toga, ako mu je to veći gas i ne želi da igra u lecu, osim ako ne igra u top tier ekipi, to je, što se mene tiče, brate, fajn, njegov izbor. Ne znači da išta bolji ili gori igrač zbog toga, iskreno.
And it's a great combo from Elyoya and from sorry, not from from Jojo as well. Elyoya interrupting Linsis on the Q into the immediate ultimate with the petrifying gaze coming through from Jojo as well. And there was just no hope that Linsis was going to be able to take that fight. MKOI now posturing in front of the Baron, but I think it's more just get vision, try and keep pressure on the map as Vitality have to answer for some of these wave states.
But you see again, the side lanes, they're not being touched. I mean, Nucko will catch this wave, but you see, all the players of the game is constantly circling around mid. It's an NA ram we're approaching right now, because you don't really want to go side against the Wukong or Bias, a squishy little bird, a squishy little Cassio, because you might get caught out. So, will be a lot of 5v5 team fights that will continue to break out.
It comes into your point that MKOI and Vitality, their solo laners want to be a part of the fight. The objective's that much more important as well. Baron will whittle down from both of these teams as Vitality look to play through that mid again. Elyoya tagged out, this fight around mid. So far in what has been a cinema game, it's already set the bar exactly where the expectation should have been for all the
Ovo je
viewers at home.
kinda slično ko prvi game dana juče kad malo bolje pogledam.
Wait off, 2 minutes 30 till Dragon seems to be the next most important
Just look at the confidence of Naknako. He's walking up without flash, without anything really.
A da, mislim da se on baš izjavio da ne želi da igra da kao ne želi naš da igra u ekipi ako nije u fazonu da će biti najbolji. Znaš kao neće da prihvati recimo ne znam ono SK fazon. Bez uvrede jeli kome već i Opi ili šta god. Mislim što ono ne znam što se mene tiče to je legitimna priča iskreno. Legitimna priča.
Fish, see if you hit. If not, doesn't matter because Naknako still doesn't have that egg up and available. So if he does get caught, that can be an absolute disaster that immediately leads in towards Baron. But with a minute 40 now until this next Dragon, if I'm MKOI, I just try and play this slow. We end up being able to play both objectives at the same time for Soul or a Baron for MKOI.
I mean, we have just completely dropped side laning at this point. It's just a full-on ARAM that we're trying to say here. It's Baron spawning, it's up, and it's Dragon in 1 minute. So I think Vitality really wants to force something on this Baron right now because they don't want to allow that soul point to come in. Where MKOI can just sit
Tako da ono, ne znam, nemam pojma, mislim. Ja sam nekako u fazonu, hoću da gledam dobar LoL, nije mi nužno svejedno da li igrač kalibar ono Nemesis koji je igrao ranije pa se možda vrati, ili igrač tipa Jopa mali ili Tiger ili neko ko je tek došao naknako, na primjer. Ja nemam taj trip kao, znaš, imam kod Fakera, njega bi gledao ono do kraja života, razumete, zašto je Faker i on je GOAT, ali mimo toga sam u fazonu, pogotovo u Evropi, brate, ako si dobar, igraj, ne kažem da Faker nije, ali kapirate priču.
Sad face, but also look at Nuben has the Bloodletter's Curse. He's just setting up Jojo right now. That's basically a Black Cleaver but for magic damage. So really like allowing Jojo to not buy Magic Pen and just continuing to buy these full AP items.
Alvaro found out before the play begins. Alvaro rather gets the damage out. He flashes away and the arrow misses. That's a push here from Lince's Jojo TP'd in, so is me when the angle good for an equalizer. Scout of the week through the choke. Humanoid tries to zone him off.
But look at the position right now. MKOI's full position of this river. It's super difficult for Vitality to walk in here. They might have to go to Baron.
And you've no ultimates for Vitality. Use so much on that engage, and you got nothing. MKOI re-established themselves. Vitality need a miracle.
Eyes on Naknako. He needs to find a big wall in this fight if they are to contest this Dragon.
This is coming from an angle though. Me when spotted
Opet mislim da nemaju alata. I ova kura da Ezreal samo više nije heroj. Flip. Nope. I ode Soul i sad je 70 puta teže. Da, validno, skoro se slažem. Mislim, eto, malo popularnija tema na Balkanu, ali ja se slažem i s tim što ni Velja ne igra za tipa neki SK, što bi igrao, brate. Realno, brate, streamuj, zaradiš, sad je u Koreji, radi onaj Sabaton, zaradi, brate, dobre pare, više nego što bi ga platio neki SK svakako, a da bude 8. u lecu, razumete, nema ništa od toga, mislim, kao, šta ti znači da budeš na dnu lece. Ne kažem da bi bio sad zbog njega, ali razumeš, ako ima loš tim, šta radiš. Tako da realno bolje, brate, da se ljudi pitaju da li bi bio prvi ili drugi, nego da kreneš da igraš i da budeš bot tier, razumeš. Isto je bilo sa Los Ratonesom i zato ekipa Los Ratonesa isto nisu pitali kao šta nakon leca, ništa, brate.
Looking like Alvaro finding another bit of success here on an Enchanter. This time on the Seraphine to try and make it 3 as MKOI in a winning position. Scouting out while Linces tries to get some recovery in the camps, but MKOI have this river on lockdown.
Yeah, Mirren is rotated from bot lane in towards the mid, so basically MKOI seen if they can fish for some sort of pick. Humanoid still has his flash, but no luxury of that for Carzy or Fleshy, so I think that's who they are more angling for, but unable to find anything right now.
I mean, bot lane basically doesn't exist at this point in the game. It's all about mid and top getting this control around the jungle, around the river, and making sure that you can maybe threaten a Nash start, because remember, you have Cassiopeia, one of the best damage, single target damage dealers, so together with Leoki, probably 2-man that Baron while Super Alvaro and Mirren holds. So Vitality, they really need to be super careful. You see them already stocking up on the blue trinkets.
Samo ne vidim da što te bolovo. Zvuči kao fun times, iskreno. Zvuči kao good time.
leave one. Let the other ones know. Baron's still there. We wait. Vision set up on the reset here from MKOI. It looks like a great return here at the start of playoffs for MKOI, who only recently I saw against KC didn't look too red hot. The end of the split, the win against G2, obviously building momentum. As the job's not done, 3 minutes 30 till the Elder, which could be a bit of a flip in this game tonight.
GA picked up for Oyoya though, means that he can play very far forward in these fights. Really try and set things up for MKOI as Vitality looking to contest in the mid waves. But MKOI in multiple angles here.
Speak of him, there's the water midway, but Kasi is alone. If Oyoya gets wind of this, he has an angle.
It's gonna be an arrow that started.
An arrow, okay. Super on lock. Waiting for him to throw it out. Kazi, it looks like we're getting closer. Oyoya, the angle, he'll find it instead, but no, hops back over.
Neće, nema follow-up.
But it's out of range. Hovering around the ARAM again, you're right, bot does not exist here in this game. Does Vitality shrink up to the top?
Let's see if they can actually go and use this wave somehow, or if they're just gonna stay around scared of Vitality.
Ma dobar ult od Karzija. Samo da ispama Q sad na wave da resetuje ult cooldown i to je to. Arrow Bifa to isto fine.
Kazi Arcane shifts over the wall. MKOI going into the choke. Mirwin, he's been found out on the wall, but he wants to set up for the equalizer as Naka gets some damage down. The Glacial Storm is good, but Lince's
but they're sold
down by the Miasma and the equalizer as well. They're sold out to the mid turret for now, but there's no wave there yet. Vitality set up Humanoid. They get a good scout of the week onto Oyoya. They run back here as Naka hovers into brush.
Yeah, Mirren tried to use the ultimate to try and keep Vitality off the tower, but it really didn't do as much as they were hoping. And instead, it's MKOI who were too close to the side, getting poked from Nako, getting pushed back. Even with that Ocean Soul, not really surviving long enough to actually put real pressure down.
I mean, it's so hard for them to actually find an engage as long as Fleshy keeps that Mikhail's bell for the Ash Arrow, but now it will be started by MKOI. Don't have the equalizer to turn, don't have the arrow to turn. This might get dicey.
Yeah, they're going to back away. Naka showed as well. Vitality all there in force.
Nako does have the flash now again. Is going to be the man who has to take space for Vitality. Like, no one else can really walk up except for him. As long as the Nami is behind him with that Mikhail's, I think he will be safe to do so, but no one is. I mean, okay, Jojo has finally went bot lane to push away. Maybe he will push one more. No, he's going to basically go mid again.
Okay. First time in a while someone's been in this lane.
So there's Dragon spawning.
That's probably
120. I think he's just reset for full Zhonya's,
He's TPing top.
Oh, he got his Leandries off the back. He back with 2.2k, so that's why he was bot lane to try and finish that one off.
Looks like he's not gonna... Like, he wants to push up top now and then walk down for Dragon, I think. Or they're just gonna start his Baron right now before Dragon spawns. Because now they have the Ash ult, they have the Rumble ult, they can actually look for a turn.
Crystallize. Mirwin gets tagged. Oyoya finds an angle and it's on top of the equalizer. Tidal Wave gonna follow through, but Lince's on an island, has to flash away. Oyoya almost dead as the arrow goes nowhere. Almost hit us in the audience as Kazi Arcane shifts forward. Super's gonna back away while the rest of MKOI have shot their shot. A Cyclone down and everything on the left side of your screen down with it as well. MKOI committed a lot, but didn't find a thing.
Look, they used 5 ultimates for MKOI and they killed no one. Anivia ult okay, Anivia ult doesn't matter, but Syndra ult and Vi ult still up and available, and they have now started the Baron themselves.
Nako just TPing back in at the moment. Vitality trying to see if they can keep them out.
They're trying to play it slow though.
Sad ćemo da mogu da nađu. Okej, zid malkice da bolje ugoji, možda su imali flash od Jojoa. Flip, za malo. Ezreal bacuje off-zid, to znači da ne komituje i to je to, ja mislim. I malo po malo izgubiš cijelu mapu. Giga unlucky, iskreno, giga, mislim. Vitality je samo drop ovo game. Ja mislim da će biti, mislim da ova serija ide u 5, iskreno.
MKOI are going to be double buffed up as they go towards the base of Vitality.
And it has gone from bad to worse for Vitality. Now Soul down, Baron down, Elder buff down. This siege that's going to come here from MKOI will be so difficult to stop. They need some miracle walls, they need some miracle waves to go their way if they are to defend this.
Look at a replay because Vitality are the ones that had to pull off here.
It's just a straight up 50-50. It's just a straight up 50-50. They gambled it. It is Oyoya who has the slightly stronger smite thanks to the Sheen proc Q by the Wukong, I think, ends up getting the Baron because of it. And now it's an easy chase now. Flash W goes up by Jojo Pyun and Without the buy, you don't have a front line. You don't have anyone to peel back from. And
Da, nemoguće, zašto imaju previše teamfight resursa ima koji. Draftovali su bolje teamfightovi, Vitality draftova da će da stompa koji, što kažem, nije nužno loše, a ako misliš da si mnogo bolji. Ali ne bi, mislim da nije ništa strašno još, kažem. Mislim da nije ništa strašno još. Mislim, ovo je game, ali okej, nije strašno što je game. Jer kažem, Vitality je draftovao da su 70 puta bolji, u fazonu su pregazit ćemo ih, nisu ih pregazili i sad samo trebaju sljedeći game da draftuju kao da nisu 50 puta bolji i to je to.
This is a game-ending Elder with MKOI still having JoJo's ulti. Super's up soon. Nexus turret's under fire. A great opening game, but MKOI hold their resilience, hold their patience with a cease and desist. Not going to be enough for that either. Nexus is exposed, and Movistar Koi enter playoffs with a big bang.
It was clean and confident from the game.
Ne, samo je bio bolji, mislim, bolji draft od Koja. Mislim da je Koji bolje pročito relativne snage ove dve ekipe. A Vitality koji je prvi seed bili su u fazonu mi smo mnogo bolji, samo ćemo da ih ugazimo. I onda zamisli čudu, nisu ih ugazili i unlucky.
Indeed, I'm here with Elioya after their commanding game 1 win. Elioya, it felt like it was one of those crazy games again where you just take control from level 1 and then you just drive it home.
Mada dobro kažem, tek je počela serija, ima da se igra, moji predikti da ova serija neće otići u 3-0, neće biti ono turbo stomp, tako da, da, ko navijate za ekipu Vitality-a, nemojte očajavati, ostanite s nama, 9 minuta pauzice i idemo u game 2, kao što sam rekao, očekujem 1-1, tako da vidimo se nakon pauze.
Yeah, regardless, because it was one of those games you're playing against the MVP of the split and all of that, but I feel like this game was a statement game from you to just show to everyone, because you weren't even all-pro, but I felt like you had an amazing game overall. Do you have some message for everyone who didn't put you over there?
I mean, honestly, I don't care about them, so yeah, no message for you guys.
Yeah, we don't deserve anything more from that. Elioya, go to your team. Congratulations again, and we're going to be back after the break to see MKOI versus Vitality for game 2. Brother, let me try.
Wait.
Brother, let us break this instead, brother.
Have a break. Have a Kit Kat.
What is this, brother?
Perfection.
Red Bull gives you wings.
Want to find your fastest server every time? Express like a pro and optimize your connection in one tap. Express and game without ISP throttling. Express and shield yourself from DDoS attacks. Express and choose the VPN trusted by gamers everywhere. Express VPN. Experience gaming the Express way. Fast, stable, competitive. Outplay the world. It's time to Express. Unlock free Hextech rewards, exclusive skins, and more. Scan to subscribe.
A new champion. Welcome to my shop. You'll need the right build. Choose wisely, because every upgrade brings you closer to the next level. So tell me, how will you level up?
world. Hey. I'm on top of the world. Hey. Damage is still good enough from Alvaro. He's hitting everything right now as Kazi tries to cut and wait, but he's bombed. Still feels like such a fantastic opening from MKOI.
Super stepping up.
There's the arrow right in his face. Humanoid though looking for the unleashed power. Super almost does. He does. He thought he could trade him, and Humanoid just pressed the no button.
Good on the one wave. Nice. Knock you away.
Spread out, spread out.
I ulted.
Chicken.
Your MVP be damned. It's MKOI that come out with the win in game 1 after an impeccable early game out of the team, out of Elyoya more specifically, as we saw that from that clip. Lin says, I'm on top of the world, hey, but he got clapped.
Was that the song?
Yeah.
I mean, Elyoya was just really, really good this game from start to finish.
Yeah.
That's why I was also surprised that he said, oh, I could have done more, because I said, okay.
I mean, that's the winner's mindset.
That's true, because he did enough. I felt like he controlled the game from start to finish. I felt like once the level 1 got going, he was pretty much everywhere he needed to be. He did all of cool things. Desync the map, he just pretty much had Linsys' number for throughout the whole game.
Tell me a little bit about how he made sure that Linsys could get nothing in that early game.
Okay, so the level 1 was a little bit random, because I want to show it, if you can bring it up right now, is that the invade happens, but it feels like it's not one of those things that are pre-planned, so if you can roll it out, Linsys just kind of walks back into Merwin, because I feel like they're here only for information, they're not really here for much more, because Merwin is just as surprised as Linsys is, and Elyoya is like, well, I'm making the most out of my play. My top laner is here with me. I'm going to make some space. And now Linsys is like, oh, man, well, everyone is here. He starts E because he preemptively put a skill point into it. And now this is where the easy part was. Now he finds this sort of invade. And if we can pause right here, what ended up happening in this clip is that Elyoya did these 2 camps. He leaves the Krugs open because he knows that he doesn't have enough time to go there. And normally you would have junglers cross into here. But what ended up happening is that before that, super based, and what Linsys is thinking right now is that he doesn't have the time to just walk into here because he can run into an Ashe, so his only option is to go for this mid lane play. And during all of this time, Elyoya doesn't really care. He doesn't even look at mid lane because Jojo is just winning 1v2. He's gonna cross into here, and now all of a sudden Linsys, he doesn't have any good plays. The only thing he can do is run around the map, be here, pray to the Lord that he just skipped the Grom, because he doesn't have anything. Because if you can pause again right now, we will end up in a situation where these both side camps are spawning at a time where Elyoya is pretty much free on the map. He has nothing to do. His both camps will be clear. So he has the opportunity to just match or mismatch Linsys whenever he wants. And that's how he got this insane goal lead throughout the whole game.
It's a horror, man.
I think you also have to give credit to Jojo, because like he blind picked the Casio, and then completely stomps the early game so hard that Syndra is 100 HP, even though like Linsys has the opportunity to go and gank and be behind him. Jojo's like, I don't care.
I don't even know if this matchup is good, because from my knowing or understanding throughout the time was always that Syndra would be beating the Casio because you're a mage that just outranges. They're just
I think it's like a scaling matchup. Like Casio early game. I mean, I think Casio's just OP.
Yeah.
First of all, she just looks so damn strong. She can be 0-5 and she's still so... It doesn't make sense.
It's one of those mental things, because everyone has these sorts of champions when you play against them and you know that you make one.
For me.
Yeah, for me it's Darius, you know. But there's always a terror for everyone. But Casio is, I guess, one of those matchups or champions in general where it has a lot of skill expression, and if you have good movement, if you're Jojo Pune, you can get away with things that you shouldn't be getting away with.
It's true. Elyoya still had a monster early game though, and he also extended his contract at MKOI into 2028. It could be, that's great obviously. Yesterday we showed the graphic of Kalist doing the same for KC. They lost. So Elyoya's like, I saw that, I'm gonna do well. I'm gonna make sure that...
Well, Kalist was first All-Pro, so maybe that was the curse, because Elyoya wasn't even top 3.
No! I heard that a lot of Spanish fans were not happy with that. I wonder, they can check the voting ballot to see who they can blame exactly, but I also think generally when you hear the name Elyoya, you think he's always going to be in those all-pro lists. He's always going to be in the conversation for MVP of jungle, right? So I wonder why it is that people didn't have that feeling, that they didn't vote that this split.
I think MKOI just in general had a slow start, and it looked kind of a little bit wonky at times, so that's why Elyoya ended up not making it. And it's also like, Vitality had a great regular season. I don't think we can rewrite the past to say Elyoya had a much, much better regular season just because he now is playing better than Linsys. Because you need to give credit where credit's due for Vitality.
That's absolutely true, and also give credit where, as you said, they make a change. When I talked to them in Madrid, Elioya said, well, our early games can't get any worse, right? So they have to get better, and I think that, for me, is one of the singular most impressive things about this game.
Exactly, because these were also one of those times where I would normally criticize MKOI, or there would be the times where they would be running it a little bit, where sort of control-y games where they need to rely on, you know, let's say, positioning and stuff like this, because yeah, these stats, I mean, okay, there's a sample size of 1, so we can take that with a grain of salt.
Yeah, whatever, I cooked the books.
But it was nice, it was controlled, it was very slow and methodical, and this is the situation where MKOI usually started running it. You know, I felt like they didn't have the patience, they didn't have the tools to convert this into a win, but now they showed exactly the opposite.
But I also think this means a lot more when you think about the context of this game. So they got counterpicked on top, right? Mirwin with Rumble into Anivia, pretty hard matchup. You're playing Katsu into Syndra, hard matchup. And you have Alvaro on the range support. And they still managed to win all across the board, get a great early game, and even at Stormracer on Supa. I love that item. Thank you, Supa, for buying it. It was a great game for it as well, all into the range. Just
Ash Seraphine is like 18-6 now, by the way.
I mean, Ash Seraphine is for sure OP. It's for sure OP.
Ollie, can you help me for a second? Because I want to show this. So we always have this amazing art. And this one was actually super poignant for this game, because it says, for Jojo Pune, is it wrong to play ARAM? And I gotta say, they were ARAMing a lot.
It was a lot of ARAM.
I mean, it was beneficial in the end for MKOI, right? So is there any way to get out of that situation in the game state that Vitality was in?
Well, they did at one point. There were times where I feel like Jojo went bot lane and started collecting the side wave at the proper timing. It's just that when you go to this timer where it's 25, 30, 35 minutes in the game, the hyperscalers have hyperscaled, and Baron pretty much becomes a matter of time, not as if you have any damage to do it. Because if he goes bot at 30 minutes in game, Baron naturally is gone in 10 seconds. So.
I mean, it was Jojo's playground in the mid lane in the ARAM, and I think Vitality, they tried to make plays happen on the side, but if you're losing all across the map, it's really MKOI that has all the options, like you said, Odo. And I also think this goes to show, like, for me, this was a draft that Vitality could have run away with. It was an opportunity for Vitality.
Marcy was on
but
Ezreal.
Still, MKOI win, and that's why I think MKOI is just going to win this series 3-0.
Oh, bam! Okay, 3-0 prediction from Jack from Movistar Koi. Never stops pandering to the Koi fans. We love it.
I'm normally always the Koi hater, but the one time I believed in Koi was last year in Madrid against G2.
Wow.
First time?
It was the first time.
Well.
And this is the second time. So
but you have reason to believe in them today, absolutely. But it is a best of 5. Of course, we're going to head into draft for Game 2. And I just missed what the right of first selection was.
I believe
Vitality chose second pick, if I'm not mistaken.
Okay.
I mean, I think for me this sparks a lot of draft in MKOI, or a lot of draft, a lot of
I evo nas nazad draft gema broj 2.
Decisive win on the Ash Seraphine. I was kind of thinking that they would come into this series thinking they needed to play engage supports, continue.
Sad ćemo da imamo, Mislim, moj predik je neko da će Vitality malo spusti loptu s draftom. Očigledno nisu toliko bolji, koliko misle da su bolji. Tako da mislim da je play da draftuješ nešto što je relativno normalno da imaš. Ja volim da koristim reč ease of execution, ali lahkom za igranje u suštini mislim da je ključ ovdje za njih.
They were finding themselves in moments where they would break apart these combos. You would have the, the Ashe and the Seraphine. You'd be trading them and find kind of these niche supports. But as the time goes on now, we are going further and further into Alvaro's playground, because now Nautilus got banned, so that's one of them out of the table. I am looking at Lulu as a prio pick here.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like the Nautilus ban, Vitality is kind of daring MKOI to lock in the Lulu, but instead it's going to be the Caitlyn for Supa. I mean, it plays into how much they like to bully in bot lane. They do still have the Karma, so they can play that Caitlyn Karma.
There's a lot of flexibility, because you have the Karma option, you have the Nico option if you want to go a little bit more spicy and a little bit more.
The Bard as well. The Bard takeaway, there's not a whole lot of champs to pair this up with, because Varus is out, Jhin is out. So you're going to have to be a bit creative here. Could even be a mage for Karsi if they want to play something like the Sigs.
Seraphine's out, so...
Seraphine is out. You always with Bard, ideally, you always want something that can follow up on the ulti and something that has good wave clear, so that Bard can just run across the map. And with Jhin being out, it's hard to find a normal ADC that does that, and Caitlyn Nico has a very strong early laning phase for MKOI here.
Alvaro on Nico, man.
I mean, it's a sight to behold, for sure. We'll see what Jojo has into this Rise. As the Anivia being out, it's not
Oriana's out as well, so now he is forced to cook a little bit. Yeah. I expect mid lane or either mid lane or jungle to be coming through here just so you can pretty much maximize the amount of counter picks you can be getting in this draft. Nocturne.
I mean, Nocturne Nico.
Caitlyn Nico Nocturne.
Okay,
it's so hard to pull off
the
always.
reason you hate Nocturne, because I'm gonna speak for you, is that in EU we love picking Nocturne without any follow-up, without any sort of synergy.
Fair. Nocturne nije loš, ali kako naši timovi draftuju oko Nocturne je loše. To je fair.
How's that pairing?
MF Bard is pretty decent. The only thing is that this lane is like, it can be quite hard for MF if she falls behind, because her mobility is reliant on not taking damage, and she doesn't have great wave clear pre-6. So I never loved the MF into Caitlyn matchup, because you're always getting outranged. So
ne, okej matchup. Mada Fero nije AD carry, pa ne bi ni znao što je dobar matchup za Katie za MF.
It's a little bit odd, because it feels like it's more one of those picks that unlocks the bar just because MF, once you get some lifesteal, you're pretty much just independent. But at that point, I feel like you're just double counter-picked on both, if I'm not mistaken. I feel like the Caitlyn and Nico are going to be permanently pushing you. Nocturne
fine si. Caitlyn MF specifičan matchup je fine.
So already I am still steering on the side of MKOI when it comes to...
Ono što će biti problem za MF je kada Nocturne krene da je ulta. Mislim da MF nema kako da preživi Nocturna. To je jedina stvar koja mislim će biti dosta veliki problem kasnije.
That would be crazy. I mean, they've already taken away the Vayne. I assume that Mirwin will probably look to blind pick. I mean, actually trying to predict what Mirwin can pick can be a bit difficult, but
Zeri top. Gledajte sad. Zvali su me Čelavi kuć. Gledaj sad.
I would say is what MKOI is going to be going for, but at the same time, Vitality still has the option for the Ryze last pick top. Because you have a flex pick, and given the fact that he's just so strong on the meta, we already started seeing...
He's not very good at the tanks, no? Ryze?
He is good. He just pushes pretty much any single tank matchup. He's very oppressive. He won't really die to ganks because especially into the Nocturne, you get to ult pretty much every time he ults. The Zinzao is coming through. Super OP pick, super insane. I feel like it adds a lot more to the, I guess, space making and teamfight power that Vitality is looking, because you already have the Ryze who's strong in the mid lane if it goes there, and you need to find a body to unleash the Ryze, because right now
Renekton je loš.
I feel like if Mirwin goes for the Renekton, it's kind of a takeaway from Naknako, because we've always seen
ne sviđa mi se ovo.
really well on this pick.
Naknako možda uzme Xina i možda igra hard scale. Iskreno. Za Hen... Šta god samo da... Mislim, šta god da uzme outscale će Renekton, ali...
On the side of Vitality, you have the knockup from Sinsao, you have the root from Ryze, and trying to
Nocturne Renekton u Giga Late-u će biti malo kritično.
This thing flows so nicely from MKOI. There's just so many picks. Ooh, and the Gragas with the buffs. I feel like this is one of those champions that flew under the radar. The buffs to W, making him so much more incredibly tanky. Paired up into the Renekton, which
Did it save the draft?
Historically, I would...
It's a great peeling tool. It's very good at
I would say it made the draft a lot better, but I don't know if it saved it. I don't know if this swing...
Meni se ne sviđa Gragas što je match.
Because you still have a lot of individual skill expression from MKOI. We saw Jojo win very...
Gragas je ekstremno težak za igru. Mislim da mi se ne sviđa Gragas ovdje, iskreno. Što mi mislite? Ali Gragas mi je onako.
I love the Nocturne, Nico, Akali, Renekton. They're all going in at the same time, and then Super can provide the damage if it doesn't work.
Oh, he's painting us a picture. He sees the MKOI 2-0 right in front of us, but will that be the case? Casters, take it away.
Well, Jack is not the only one up here who thinks that MKOI's draft is a lot better. Who would like to start? Dagda?
Yeah, I feel like Vitality's draft wants to do a lot of different things. Like, the MF wants someone to try and set up where she can get a big ultimate off, or she can control zones, but you don't really have anyone to enable that on the team. Like, Gragas knocks anyone away, the Bard makes them all invulnerable, and like, even then in team fights, you don't really have a very strong front line to try and engage or set up. Like, it feels really awkward for me for Vitality to work through.
Yeah, I mean, to me, one of the main concerns with Vitality's comp, or not concerns with their comp, but it's like, you have Rising Akali, which before level 6 has so much pressure. Now, you also have Shinshao against Nocturne, and Nocturne doesn't really want to fight before level 6. So usually you would have a mid-jungle that can just push and move wherever you want. Now, where are you gonna move? there's Renegade versus Gragas top. That's kind of a neutral lane. Not much is gonna happen there. And you're gonna get pushed in bot by the Caitlyn Nico, I assume. On his Carsey Flash, you kind of cook something. So it's quite difficult for human.
Caitlyn Nico će pušati, da. To je istina.
They have drafted for. What I will want to see is, I want to see Flesh and Mermaid, and I want to see him target Jojo hard, because this Akali is super weak before level 6. You don't have Nocturne to bail you out, and you have this pushing lane in Rise. So to me, this is really where the early game leads can come from.
I think also, as a small trade comes through bot, actually Cosmic Binding connects on Alvaro as well. He's going to heal.
Gragas top je okej, mislim.
But he's on lethal tempo duty, and Fleshy is going to get traded back, but Alvaro does have to burn the heal.
Great binding by Fleshy, just onto the very corner of that.
Moj problem s Gragasom na topu je što mislim da Gragas top nema toliko solo carry potencijala.
Yeah, I mean, as long as you get a push from MKOI, you're quite happy. Alvaro will chug all those potions up now to kind of...
Ko rađe bi da je nakon igrao Atroxa ili Zahena, na primjer. Znaš, nešto što može konkretno da mu se koristi da nosi game.
Playing on the edge a little bit. Quickly before the game progresses on, I do just want to quickly bring up like top lane choices here. Comet here for Nuck is interesting considering the nerf when you don't have that big range. Barrel roll is going to be effective, right? But it's not like the Storm Raider Surge that you might expect in the matchup.
Yeah, I mean, for Gragas, you have 3 options of Keystone. You have Comet, if you want to play slow, poking laning phase. You have Grasp, if you want to neutralize the engages from the enemy top by just body slamming, hitting them with a Grasp out and walking out. And you have Storm Raiders, if you want to make a bounce montage. So he has opted in for the Comet, a slow laning phase, gonna be maxing Q into W, I assume. It's the new kind of meta on Gragas just because of that damage amp. I think he might go AP though, which is...
W, mislim da...
I was worried this would be a tank Gragas where you're just buying like...
Možda će da igra. Ja bih skrao maxo W.
Just doesn't do much, so we'll see where he ends up taking out my
Spam W, be tanky, never die, radiš damage. Okay, si.
And I was under the impression that this item wasn't very good. It's Jojo.
Fine.
He's alive. He shuriken flips. He's not going to take that one back. He is crazy. He sticks up for the CS. And he lives.
At least knowing that he's about to hit the level up gave him a little bit more there, but definitely playing with fire. Humanoid being very low in mana means there wasn't much follow-up either. Now Alyoya coming mid just to try and chase Humanoid off and guarantee that Jojo can farm this wave safe.
Oh, he's holding the wave and moving up for the topside crab. Really nice there by Alyoya. Kind of giving Jojo Putin's laning phase a little bit better position now. You see the Humanoid has opted in for the Ghosts, so can't just TP in there and break this freeze. So might lose 3-something melee minions from this, which will give MKOI Jojo Putin a lead, XP lead.
A lead for Jojo again, no way.
I mean, he's in a really good spot now. Like this move by Alyoya actually saved his laning phase so much. He didn't save it, but just made it very comfortable for him as Predator goes out.
Linus is coming in. We can glaze Jojo a little bit later with those stats.
Do this again.
Mirwin steps up, you're right. This could be egregious behavior once more.
It's fine.
Just cold to make. I mean, it depends. He's going to face check this. Wind becomes lightning, doesn't connect. Oh, you hate to see it.
The solo laners of MKOI is playing so disrespectful towards Linsas, but he doesn't really end up finding any leads here, so...
Meanwhile,
the Mirwin.
Okay.
Damage comes out.
Any caliber net from Super gets in and out. Fleshy. No Cosmic Binding to be found either. Now Super just stepping up in the lane. It was said on desk that bot lane would be a little bit dicey. So far, Super and Alvaro, a 10 CS lead here. A plate already taken, as you expect, of a Caitlyn Nico lane.
Yeah, I mean, I do quite like this draft that MKOI has put together, because I think Carsey is just, didn't lose a single game on Caitlyn in the split.
Yep.
And with Fearless taking that champion away, even if you lose...
Suja, pa ja, Gragas top je ono, postoji. Mislim, nije nužno loš pik, samo kažem specifično, ovo matchupu bi više volao da je... Jer mislim da je nakon giga talentovan, volao bi da ga vidim da ima nešto na čemu ima direktno carry potencijala. To je moja logika.
Abusive bottom lanes are also helping to keep Flesh in check, because I think Fleshy's been a standout performer for Vitality. I think he's been working really well and linking up with Linces, finding early scraps and skirmishes, and he just has been very quiet, and a lot of that has been because he's just been pushed under his tower both games in a row. Looking for the reset now, but I think if Fleshy's unable to roam here, you can't really get Linces and Humanoid linked up. I think for MKOI, you're in a good spot where you do just get this bot lane to play ahead.
Perfect execution, Shuriken flip taken in, Humanoid gets the root down.
Oba! To je već problem. To već ne bi trebalo se događa.
Went mid, held away for Jojo, gave him a free melee minion XP advantages, and Jojo will take that small inch and turn it into a kilometer with solo kill here onto Humanoid.
There's a flash, big barrel. Jojo solo kill number 19.
That's crazy.
This guy is psychotic. In a great way.
Absolutely insane. And I do think he has been the star performer for MKOI the entire split. MKOI looking very good towards the end of this split, but definitely a shaky start to it. But no doubt it was Jojo who was consistently showing up for this roster, consistently finding leads, and kind of the focal point as to who was going to get them across the finish line and wins.
Okay, Linces does get the smite down. Oyo did flash for it. Looks for the fear, does find that as well. Double root down as Jojo doesn't get the Shuriken flip to launch back in. Humanoid tries to fire back here.
Slažem se. Ja, isto, brate. Daj ber naku, čovek je doktor igrice, daj mu da igra nešto što stvarno može da napravi razliku. Mislim, dao si mu Gragasa što ono se kaže nit smrdi nit miriše, brate. Postoji na topu i ko key, brate. Šta radiš Gragasa? Zašto igraš Gragasa pa nako, razumeš? Bukvalno.
Making Linces' game super difficult. And Elgoya's game very comfortable.
Nisam oduševljen. Jesi, jel da ne?
Yeah, this is where I think Karzi can be in a little bit of trouble. Fleshy not going to be back in time.
He needs to cleanse the tangling barbs here to get out of the trap.
All the time's good to clear the way, but there's the tangling barbs, as you said, it's going to be cleared. 90 caliber net and that Q combo doesn't land, so it's a good cleanse from Karzi. Otherwise, yes, dead.
Well played by Karzi, ults the wave, instantly cleansed the moment the tangle barbs hits, and then walks out of the trap follow-up there. Played it as well as he could, clears the wave, and only has to burn one summoner spell for it, so solid by the Czech AD carry.
Ma što je najjače, top lane meta nije sad toliko loša koliko je ovaj game loša. Igra se svašta na topu, igra se i Brand, igrala se i Casio, Zeri, Varus, Vayne. Imaš ti svašta nešto na topu da je zanimljivo za gledanje, ali pogotovo kao Mirvi Nako, ja bih pomislio će biti ono najkrvaviji top lane ikada, međutim oba koča su u fazonu ono povodac na top lanere i nema igranja.
And I think it'll be Elyoya finishing out his clear on this bottom side and then using the vision that's already been established by Alvaro to set up for this dragon.
We'll say Naka doing quite a good job in the top lane, forcing out Mirwin's flash before. Mirwin now with the Mercury Threads.
Hang on, there's flash available here.
That's Dominus, I think he's fine.
Okay.
Just holding the wave here, scaling. I mean, as your goal as Gragas in this matchup is just to go even, but now...
Not fine, Realm was going to be used before the fear comes in. Humanoid is how. Good timing on it, he pressed that button straight away.
It definitely needed to, because that could have been a lot more damage if Jojo wanted to end up popping that perfect execution, but still, MKOI at least get pressure. Jojo will look for the reset, and Jojo didn't end up using that ult as we said, so still having that kill threat as this starts to go on is going to be pretty nice for MKOI.
At this point, as MKOI, you just want to start stacking those dragons, making sure you're progressing the game somewhat. Setting yourself up for a quite early soul point is the goal right now, because it will be difficult to kind of siege down later against the MF Rise. Like, you really want to make sure that you force these fights around these river skirmishes so that Nocturne, Akali, and Nico can all shine. And to do that, you need these dragons.
Jojo being a nuisance, walking up towards Linces, threatening him as he's on the Void Grubs. And Mirwin will come as well.
Zavisi u šta igraš, mislim. Ona je fajn na topu jer ima escape koji je dovoljno dugačak da izvuče iz lane, realno. Sad, mislim, ono što ona radi je forsira tipa klenzove, QSS-ove, Merksove i to. I onda ako ti ostatak kompa ima frontline i dosta physical damage, onda možda ima neku ulogu. Ali ako ti je mid lane mage, onda Lissandra na topu baš nije dobra. Jer ti onda counteri oba soul lanera sa istim itemima. Dok recimo, rekao bi i ovdje, pa dobro i Gragas i AP jeste, ali Gragas nije On ne zavisi od toga da nekog shota od 100 do 0, ne mora. On možda bude i tank, možda igra pil, možda radi svašta.
Desperately needed by Vitality. You need a lane to play around, and maybe it has just opened itself up. Merwin is constantly just looking at Naknako under his tower. Naknako has no mana, is doing the Oktoberfest dance.
He is.
Will most likely just TP back here.
Redwood. Okay, as he TP's back, Eowyn just clears the way. Probably use this for his own reset as well. Tango Barb's on a ward, Carsey was, so his reset.
That's annoying, actually. Stopping his recall here now. Carsey has to make a choice. Does he stay without the ult and just deny these baits? Because even if you stay now, you still have to find the base later.
Yep.
Super is back here with a BF and double longsword. He's very strong and he wants to take all those baits if he can.
Finding connects. Linces is on the way. Just wondering, is Linces going to be able to find anything? No, Alvaro does get out despite the slow. Carsey will now back, as you said, a little bit annoying. As Super does stay in wave. This is the only problem, is he's hard shoving this wave, knowing that he has access at plating again.
Yeah, basically, if you ever chunk your enemy laner like this, you just want to make sure you hard push every single wave so they can't just get a free reset in. You just got to make sure you keep them under tower and make any reset be a little bit awkward. Moving in the top lane, Naknako is...
Nešto super builda, je Storm Razor.
Walking behind the wave here, trying to proxy.
He's got a bit of AP, so he'll clear it out. The Rod of Age is soon to be Gragas. He's going to be absolutely fine here. There's no attention top either.
Može Gali, možda recimo Yon nije loš. Physical damage dealeri takođe.
Meanwhile, the flash going to be burnt by Elyoya. Audacious charge by Linces starts us off. All for this Scuttle Crab on the bottom side of the map. No dragon up, just for the Scuttle. And Flash will be burnt.
Yeah, Flash is burnt, but it's MKOI kind of using the fact you got mid and pop push really effectively. You just continue to keep vision and pressure.
Good journey. Three people. Tango Barbs. Pop Blossom. Oh my god, Alvaro! What was that?
Clap.
Bullet time looking for the trade and he'll find it. But now the charge on the Super 3 talent strike from Linces needs to connect. Tango Barbs flushed over the wall. Linces outplays as well. Then turns onto Alvaro, charging him down. Even though Alvaro from the monster play, Linces carries it back. Jojo comes in with the strike himself while Carsey dies to a Renegade. Linces jumps back in, but Jojo
Koja je Fiesta. Ajoj Fieste. Ajoj Fieste.
The TP and the roam save the play for MKOI.
Dobro, ali ostaje Gragas gore, ja znam može malo da se vrati u lane, koliko je behind, ali svako malo dobije prostora, diše. Lepo od Alvara, mislim, sačekao si bar tunel, uvatio si ih na combo, skroz okej.
Is just so strong here. He has his rune fully stacked up, flashes the Tangle Barbs, but it is, as you highlight, Rob, these solo lanes from MKOI that come in and salvage this play. You see Mirren, Poppy and Dominus picking up cars in the back, and here Jordan just kills Linces. Very clean and simple, so still a nice trade back from MKOI in general.
Alright, does go down as we come back to live as well. Mirwin got that gold. Carsey in trouble, Tangle Barbs, and it is hell. This time for Carsey. Nice combo from the duo lane.
He'd use everything in that bottom side fight. Nothing left to save him. And MKOI with a nice pick on mid. Starting to extend again. Like, look at the bottom of your screen. That was kind of within touching distance apart from mid lane, but it has exploded in favor of MKOI.
I mean, Super has gotten so many plates this game. He got all 5 plates, but now he's swapped to mid. Already 3 plates down. Might even look to get a 4th here. He is getting accelerated at a very rapid pace in this game. He's gonna get his first item so early, and the second one even sooner.
Only reason he hasn't been there, he's gone double longsword with the BF and pickaxe. Got an inventory full of components as we go to live. It is a smite that comes down for the blue buff. Magical Journey going to be used. Fleshy needs to get out of there. Lights turn off. Pop Blossom only on the one. Meeman takes Fleshy. Well, now Linces comes out of the ulti and Super takes him down. MKOI are running away with it again. Today, their early games have been on point as Jojo lands in.
Okay.
Just a match away from the bomber.
Ajoj Jojo. Ajoj Jojo, lakše malo, vrati.
Man, Jojo, the Kali is clean.
Nowhere on this map is safe for Vitality. Their jungle is falling apart.
Jukukulele.
The top lane is falling apart.
Jukukulele Jojo igra. A mislim ono Canadian execution, znate priču. Dobar je Jojo, baš je dobar Jojo, vrati. Ješćam se skoro da Evropa dobila nekog, da kažeš, iskusnog importa koji je napravio toliko veliku razliku. Jojo baš lepo igra. Sve pohvale za njega, iskreno. Jako lepo igra Jojo.
But he's stacking up again.
So I have to question Vitality's decision making here. You are jumping into this as a 2-man with your support and jungle. Surely you know that they're looking for this blue side invade, and surely you know they have more people than you. And here, let's just enjoy it. I mean, let's just enjoy it. really clean. R2 and then E is the fastest way to get like the instant burst damage, making sure that there's no way Naku gets away from that. So really clean by Jojo. As you said, 20 solo kills on this Akali. Had a monster game in Madrid. Now showing it off again here in the playoffs.
His solo kills are nearly old enough to drink where he's from.
Oh my god. Humanoid's in trouble. Mir when the follow-up slice nice being used, goes back for the Realm Warp, and there's no Ruthless Predator to stop that. Humanoid gets out, but that Realm Warp has only been defensive this game.
Yeah, I think his Ghost has as well. Now Mir with a deep push on bot lane has the Mercs, which is really good against the Gragas and the...
Not again. Nako says, I will do it again. Let's pad the stats. Oi! That's my kill, Elyoya! Jojo goes to 4-0, but he could have had 21.
I mean, Jojo Pune saw the MVP announcement and thought that should be me.
Nevjerovatno, iskreno. Mislim, ekstra za gledanje, da se ne lažemo. Stvarno je zanimljivo koliko kida Jojo, ali svaka mu čast, brate mili. Svaka mu čast, iskreno. Bilo je pitanje da li će Jojo zameniti Freskovija kako treba, pogotovo što obično si mi se sprdamo, ali realno svi igrači koji igraju u NA-u nisu ništa spec. Kao Evropljani koji se vrati iz NA-a, ok, ali ljudi koji su iz Amerike ili šta god koji igraju tamo u LCS-u su generalno jako loši. I onda dolazi Jojo kao NA import i vidi prelepo. Iskreno, full respect, prelepo igra Jojo.
A lot of MKOI fans were doubting whether this team could show up in playoffs. Remember, you win this, you're top 3. And a lot of fans, a lot of people that at MKOI wouldn't be top 3 to split with Vitality in the mix. Well, here we go. Let's find the knockup.
Ali opet eto, Vitality prvi seed, koji četvrti seed i vidite kako nema veze. Regularan deo već odavno nije merilo ko je bolji. To vidjeli od T1-a da ih kao ne zanima regularan split. I dobar igra, ne, moguće. Ma kakvi, ovo je 2-0 lagano. A iskreno nisam očekivao, ne očekujem da će biti 3-0 za koji, ne mogu da verujem. Ne, ja vam kažem. Mora bude uvek Canadian, šta god, ja se malo sprdam s tim, ali...
That was a 2v5 at one point. Murwin saw 5 people on his screen and just said, nah, I'd win. Elyoya flies in here as we'll watch it again. It starts with his attempted pick on the Jojo Pune. You see Carsey barely scratches him with a bullet hell here, but he walks out.
Lepo, nema šta, mislim, ovo je... Trenutno koji škola Lola.
It takes quite some time until the rest of MKOI arrives here. This is basically a 2v4, 2v5. But now all the boys arrive and Murwin has been so tanky. All that healing from Cold and Meek keeps him alive. And I just enjoy this driving by Elyoya.
The battle herald, absolutely.
Oh my god, it's insane. And then the German Gragas, last to go. Oktoberfest no longer, we ain't celebrating because this game is done.
Yeah, the new Forza game just got released, right? I see he's been practicing for a little bit.
Yeah. And Humanoid is going to be another kill, depending. Sure, can take it.
Nemoj BF Hex Optics, znači ako ideš BF idi na Storm Razor, a ako imaš Soma i 300 uvek možda kupiš Kivivi pa ideš Hex Optics. Znači odluči koji item hoćeš i onda kad odlučiš koji item hoćeš samo komituj na njega. BF u Hex Optics ti ne radi ništa iskreno, mnogo ti je bolje samo da ideš ili odmah Quiver Hex Optics ili BF Storm Razor ili šta god, Yuntal, mislim ako ti si igra Yuntal, mada ne preporučujem Yuntal iskreno, ali ajde.
What can they do? I think it has to start with some tempered face from Fleshy, and they need to start fighting with numbers, because any single time they have the same amount of people on screen, it just looks like the complete MKOI show.
This series just might be at that as well. Win here moves the match point, means Vitality have to reverse sweep the first seed of the LEC. A lot of doubt right now as Jojo goes to the face check, but he won't be punished. Vitality moves a 4-man unit towards him, but he goes back to top wave while Nako stays bot. Even going to rotate down, and remember that dragon is up. Vitality know that MKOI can move to it, anytime they want.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. Like, you kind of hit the nail. I love how Mirwin is just constantly playing up into this point, and every time that wave is pushed in mid, he's just matching it and making sure
Jedno i drugo ti je, da kažeš, jednako jako. Jedina fora je što ti Storm Razor daje više survivability-a, a Hex Optics ti daje više čistog damage ako ti niko ne skače za vratom, tako da.
To the game has been stellar. It is a pick for a shutdown as Nuknucko's found out in response. He gets burnt. And he dies to super. It's still a 1-for-1 as Alvaro. He decided to protobelt in. That is, my friends, what you call a bit of an int. Alvaro's dead here. I don't know what that was, but they just gave 2 shutdowns to Humanoid.
So MKOI just reminding us what they're known for, you know, for very flashy plays and a little bit of oopsies.
I just want to show you, this is where the rest of MKOI was. And this is where Alvaro was.
I'm going to protobelt in. I will stop the base, but at what cost?
Fair enough. Yeah, a little bit of a whoopsie there, I'm not going to lie.
I mean, Vitality needs about like 7 more of those, and then maybe they're back in the game, so still get the objective shot on here on the top side tower. Humanoid gets a little bit of free time this game after being heavily punished by Jojo Pyun, so
yeah, I mean,
this moment of solace.
It still kind of feels very similar to game 1, right? Like, Dragon stacking there for MKOI. They've got this nice gold lead. They've got great ability to team fight. It feels very difficult for Vitality at this point. Because until that next Dragon spawns, that's just kind of MKOI's win con, right? Mountain Soul against what has already been a difficult time for Vitality is not going to end well.
No, it's not going to end well. You're completely right. And look, the sideline towers are falling. The jungle will now get even more dark and full of terrors if you are Vitality. Every single bush is a potential phase check into Tangle Barb Trap combo, into Jojo Pyun Kali, or an angry Crocodile. So it's not easy.
I really, really hope, though, it's just not Vitality Classic in playoffs. I mean, so far, not so good, and it is a round of MKOI really stepping up from regular season, taking no credit away. Vitality, this is a common occurrence versus playoffs, summer playoffs, winter playoffs, spring playoffs. I'm going through the years. I see 6, I see 7, not intentional. I see 5th, I see 4th. They get good, but not good enough. And now here caught out again. I think I could say the same. The flash or
Ma kak. Da, ovo je laganih 2-0, ne znam, stvarno, ako koji dobije 3-0, ja nemam reći. Mislim, Vitality nije najbolji bio onim EVC qualijima, ali... Moguće da su zato isto malo tiltovali, ko će ga znati. Mislim, ko je pobedio Navi 2-0 tamo u qualifierima. Možda i to igra malo uloge. To mi jedino pada na pamet. Da, jako dobro neće da...
Baron picked up over, and that was Vitality's last chance, it feels.
I like the idea from Karzi. Try and use that ultimate just to make sure that Baron goes low, but Linces couldn't get into the pit, had the flash, couldn't use it. So it's MKOI. Pick up the Baron, and that really does kind of seal the deal here for MKOI.
I think Elyoya has smited every single objective today so far. I don't think he's missed a single one of those smites, so looks quite scary to go up against Smite Fight here. You see all the angles. Alvaro is having the top side. Murugan is going to jump up over here while Jojo Pyun is just zoning the solo laners of Vitality in the bot side here. Makes it a very split fight, and it's just a quick chaos to make sure you can actually get this. Elyoya, well done, backsteps the bullet hell so he can actually survive it, and then going for the smite. Really nice macro there by him. Now we're in a sieging position. And there's a Caitlyn, and there's a Nocturne, and there's a Nico. I think we're going to see some dives soon, knowing this team.
What? Dives on this? Okay.
Vraća se koju zlatnu eru.
Jojo's been very passive this game. 7-1. He's got a Seekers as well. They're seeing it coming in the crowd. They're bopping. Come on, man.
He's hoping to support the Vitality side. Definitely all the hope he can give them right now, because MKOI are knocking on the base a minute until they fall back. Linces fishing for a mirror in here.
They're going to try. Bottom lane is melting though. Hello, the base is in trouble. And Jojo's a one-man army. Humanoid can't take him alone. Mirwan's been tanked out a little bit, or rather charged, but Humanoid, as he defends against Baron Minions, it won't work. He's a public execution with a Shuriken flip. And oh, the Predator mess up from downtown from Elyoya.
Ma kakvi, ubiš ih. Elyoya skače out, on je, mislim okej, bacio je flash, ali nisu samo previše ahead sad, nema neke pretjerano velike razlike, iskreno. Sad su dovoljno ahead da je
options goes to try and escape, but it does mean now, I think, for 20 seconds, Aljoja ult down, Jojo.
No, čak i nekoliko greši. Pogledaj MF razlika, MF Caitlyn, čovječ. Si pulio što Ryze ne gubi previše golda, 600 deficita za Ryza nije ništa, ali...
Yeah, this is a good angle from Mirwin, but he's only going to slice only one time. Aljoja also here, level 16 Nocturne, has full vision thanks to the Scrying Bloom that's just been used. Dragon is going to be given back over to MKOI as they have position. Lenses getting chunked out as he walks in the river.
If Vitality need to try and force this quickly, Jojo's ult 3/4 the way done. Humanoid taking some damage.
Some damage. Mirwin's holding the wave, a nuisance in the backline. Karzi going to find him, but this means...
Ne radi, Karzi ne radi dovoljno damage još. Njemu treba sve Infinity Edge. Ha, Casey, ne znam iskreno. Mislim što je najjače, koliko god se Casey raspada i dalje su top 2, top 3 u Evropi, tako da uvek imaju hype.
He's just standing there making sure that there's no chance that Vitality would ever dare to approach this Dragon. Linces, can he get one of his camps? Nope. Doesn't seem like it.
It has been a bit of Aljoja clinic today, hasn't it? Linces, even though he didn't get invaded this time around, it's been a big jungle diff.
I mean, it's the same story in Madrid, right? I think that was kind of the big talking point come off of that Spanish weekend was that Aljoja and Alvaro felt like they were back together, buddies in arms as they started to take over in the early game. And I think Aljoja has been absolutely spectacular today. The early invade in game 1 really set him up for success. Now again in game 2, working off of some of the pressure that we saw through that bottom side, playing around Jojo to make sure he could get into a good spot. Like, he has been absolutely brilliant, and it's great to see him back in that winning form again.
I mean, absolutely. I think he and Jojepyun has been one of the best mid-jungle supports in our league right now. Seeing Jojepyun's form, seeing Aljoja finally getting back to his peak level, I think this is a mid-jungle to reckon with. Like, they are so good at taking over the game. You see, Jojepyun only got that solo kill because of that little move that Aljoja had. He set him up for that solo kill, and Jojo took it and ran away with the game.
And if MKOI are able to take this series, what a banger that series against G2 is going to be. After MKOI just managed to get that win 2 weeks ago in Spain, now wanting to see if they can get in and book their ticket for MSI, like, that is going to be an absolute banger. But this one at least feels destined to at least go to 2-0, and it's going to be on Vitality, it feels like, to see if they can start. That crawl back pushes to that game 5 and that reverse speed.
I mean, it's going to take some divine intervention for Vitality to come back into this game now. Pick going out onto Jojo.
This could be it. It's Humanoid by himself, though. He has found Jojo. Wind becomes lightning, connects as well. Jojo in the shroud.
Mora samo Jojo out, ja mislim da je to, da.
But it's a Gragas. Aljoja sends it to a man who takes next to no damage from him. So a couple of things used. Jojo had to burn the ulti as well. Worth noting, nothing up for a minute, but still worth noting that MKOI couldn't get the job done.
I mean, Vitality is not just lying down and taking the defeat. They're constantly looking to get any kind of seed that they can on these side lanes. They're getting at Jojepyun's ult, making sure he doesn't have it, so you get a pressure side by Thor. Maybe now walking up. We'll just be chunked? No.
I don't even know if he was choked.
Big damage coming out there from Fleshy. But yeah, it's tough. You see, they don't really have the damage.
Mislim da, znaš da je fora, ja mislim da Kanu možda, ali mislim da ne postoji, mislim ne znam, u stvari ja lupam gluposti i ne vidim kako kikaju Kalista ikada. Kalisti mi je ono golden child. Znaš, mi će pre zatvoriti klub nego da kikaju Kalista. Ali Kana baš underperforma, iskreno. Kana baš underperforma.
Feels like you're not going to get anything above bronze at this point. 5 seconds, Baron's up. Now another threat here is Vitality will have to walk in. The fact that they're able to walk anywhere that's outside of their base right now just shows the kind of aggression they want to put out when they're this far in the ground.
Yeah, I mean, Jojo back into that bottom lane, didn't end up burning the flash, and now with all those ultimates back available, MKOI know they're strong. Using Mirwin to group up with the team since his teleport is down, they're just fishing to if Vitality ever overextend.
I mean, fun thing, Jojo is 7-1, but
Kalista je potpisao do 2028 isto kao i Mirwin, da. Da, do kraja, da. Faktički da. 2029.
Yeah, I mean, Jojo's just gonna keep holding this flank, making sure, like, you're always gonna see either Renekton or Akali stay on the flank to make sure that if MF wants to walk up, she needs to be aware that there's someone behind her. Just putting pressure like that. Baron is being started here. They have the paranoia to turn if they want to. AORUS can look for a couple of sim
down
here.
pretty quick. Vitality move into a choker. 3 members. Lynch just found out. Pekabab's not connecting. Humanoid behind him. Mirwin goes into the dominance, but Baron's still going down and taking pop block. I'm going to find the mark only onto one.
Ima supa, treba da ubije Xina, ali... Ma da, ne, Karzi ne radi ništa. Znaš sam rekao, ne može MF da igra u Nocturna.
Jojo went with the flank, but I do know that Vitality couldn't withstand the pressure.
Vitality looking like there's no signs of life left in this game. MKOI pushing through, Mirwin forcing them back. This should be the end of game 2.
It's an easy push at this point for MKOI, and they want to go back as their respective team.
And they want to go back to 2025. It feels like we are repeating the Movistar KOI rise to fame. Vitality might be the first seed, but they don't have the experience like KOI do.
Majok.
AORUS back. Jojo's kicking ass on the Akali.
Iskren da budem, ne znam šta da vam kažem, ovo nisam u 3 života očekivao, tako da... Hoće ga znati. Hoće ga znati, iskreno.
Insane performance from the MKOI boys.
I'm going to need our analyst desk to tell us how many solo kills Jojo got, because I lost count, because that dude is well and truly above 20 now for this split alone.
I mean, Jojo's just been absolutely insane. Throughout this whole split, I mean, he was the number 2 candidate for the MVP. Maybe he should have been the MVP after this game.
How many solo kills did he get? I stopped counting after 2. When I saw the stat that he got over 20 this split, I stopped counting. But man, that was crazy from him, because I really... This was the matchup when we came into draft and he said, this is the only losing matchup that MKOI has.
Ništa, opet ista priča. 9 minuta pauze, chillamo sa analistima, vraćamo se sa, ne znam, možda finalnim gameom. Kako je krenulo, kažem, ništa me više ne čudi.
Beautiful flash over the barrel, over the cask, goes back in, and even now... Oh my word, that's what I want to see from someone who comes in EU. Embrace that EU sass and just talk your stuff when you get performances like that, because that was crazy. That was crazy.
He's been such a welcome addition to the league.
Yeah.
I think such a pillar for MKOI, and just so great in this game. And as you said, Odo, it was like the one lane that Vitality could have played around. And they still just got absolutely demolished in it. And look at those stats from Jojo as well. Just phenomenal stuff from him. But we also wanted to talk a little bit about the bot lane.
Yeah.
And I think you even wanted to break it down in our really cool demo station.
Yeah, so it all started with bot lane, because sure, there will be times where we're going to say that maybe MKOI could have done things a little bit better and whatnot, but let's start it off from here, because what ends up happening is that if we just remember, Vitality gets this beautiful all-in, let's speed it up a little bit, and now what happens is, normally you would say that Vitality wants to base because they got the tempo lead, bot lane is finally stable, we said that this is the lane that is losing, but what crucially happens now is that Karzi wants to go for this plate.
That's classic, greeting for the plate.
So the reason this happens is because he wants to get the BF base, because otherwise everything's suboptimal, but what ends up happening here is that Alvaro, crucially, he finds this ward that he put earlier here, he knows that he is basing, and now Elyoya has a choice. He has the choice of either does he want to go into top lane here to get his item as well, because he's also very close to Hextech, or he can go into bot lane, because even if you would argue that maybe it's better to go into bot lane because Karzi is permanently stuck under tower now. He will never ever cross this line here of minions at all. So what's gonna happen is that he will take these grabs, he will base, and he will exit bot, because what happens here is that Vitality lost their one single window where they can get a base on the bot lane. Karzi is going to be permanently stuck here over and over and over again. And even now it's been one wave. This is the second wave. Elyoya is still exiting here. He still has plenty of time to open here. He has time to even farm. While Karzi is still stuck over here, Vitality is scrambling for control. And all of that just chain reacted from the fact that Karzi didn't want to base. And even now, if we speed it up a little bit more, this fight happens. And it looks good for Vitality at the beginning. But remember, this is a fight with your ADC having 2k gold in the bank.
Yeah. I mean, I definitely think you make a great point there that like Elyoya could have tried to punish this a little bit more. I relate a lot to Carsey, you know, staying for the BF sword and making himself really vulnerable. And as you said, he really can't base because if he does base, he's going to lose so many minions. And then kind of the rest of MKOI then just all collapse to make this a good fight. And then they get the full bot lane tower as well.
And this is the aftermath. You went from being even, bot lane was salvaged, where you thought that bot lane was your weak link because we identified from draft that Caitlyn and Nico are going to permanently push you in.
Yeah.
All of a sudden, you swung that game open, you're 2k gold down, they get, MKOI gets tempo pretty much over all the map where they can set up in whatever way they want, and it's just disappointing a little bit because you just have to take the small wins. You could have based for your pickaxe, you could have find a little bit more of a suboptimal base, but you need to keep that game state even because we said it from the beginning, you're not going to be having a pleasant early game as Vitality.
For sure. I think also if we go back to the draft, the one thing that is good for Vitality is that this draft was really bad. Now that doesn't sound
How is that good?
That doesn't sound good for Vitality.
You literally said it's good.
But listen. It's good for Vitality because in game number 3, they can have a better draft and therefore a much better chance of winning the game. They had Naknako on a neutralizer, so he can't really flex his muscles. They had an unplayable bot lane matchup where the only thing you can really do is try to survive. And then giving Humanoid the one winning lane, I don't think it's going to be the winning formula against Jojo Pion.
Listen, I really don't want to see the Vitality curse again because we saw that graphic at the beginning of the show. Vitality curse in playoffs, it's always there. They always go downhill. And I really want to see Game 3 now to start them mounting a comeback, and it starts with the draft.
They need to find a comeback indeed. We'll be off to a quick break. Don't go anywhere.
Waka waka ma waka waka ma aro ajareya. This time for Africa.
You're in a good spot where you do just get this bot lane play. His next bit
the execution, Shuriken flip taken in. Humanoid gets the root down on the Thor, tries to flush, but Jojo's there to match it. Thor will be taken on the way up, but it's first blood.
Look behind, guys, nice.
Greg is no flash, Greg is no flash, Greg is no flash, 1 HP, I'm coming.
That's flash, I think.
If we kill him, we can... No flash, no flash.
Okay.
Oh!
I hit those.
Greg is no flash, we can end, they have no way.
Yeah, we end.
What's wrong with me today? I think you should have a break.
Have a break. Have a Kit Kat.
I love it, baby, 'cause I'm at crushing.
Whoops. The whole room was howling.
Howling? Oh. That's not howling, buddy. That's...
Did you steal the LEC trophy? Okay, you can call it.
Red Bull gives you wings.
Want to find your fastest server every time? Express like a pro and optimize your connection in one tap. Express in game without ISP throttling. Express and shield yourself from DDoS attacks. Express and choose the VPN trusted by gamers everywhere. Express VPN. Experience gaming the Express way. Fast, stable, competitive. Outplay the world. It's time to Express. Unlock free Hextech rewards, exclusive skins, and more. Scan to subscribe.
The human body was built to move. Not trapped at a desk in one singular posture for 12 hours a day. It's time your chair evolved. This is Secret Lab Titan Evo. Ergonomically engineered for you, gamers, hybrid workers, artists, backing your every every move.
It's Movistar Koi that's on match point, so we needed to get a little bit of positive B energy. Make some noise, Vitality fans. I love the energy, but what is going wrong?
Well, you all saw those drafts, but we will see, we will see. Probably it will get better, and we will reverse sweep them, and then... Yeah, sure. We all believe, yeah.
What do you think? How's the MVP doing, Nako?
Well, MVP is still our MVP and will be, so I think he will now show us why we chose him an MVP. So.
Now they seem to think Joe Champion deserves the MVP. If it wasn't for that one game versus G2, he might have had it.
He don't have it, right? He doesn't have it, right? So.
Well, would you rather be MVP or be last in the playoffs?
What would I rather?
Yeah.
Well, be the MVP, right?
I guess they already have that. Okay, you were screaming some names. Marek Brazda,
sure.
Matthias Orzak. Tell me, Karzi and Humanoid, because you're all Czech, right? I forgot to say that. Yeah, so tell me about the Czech support.
So I think in Czech we have really big like support for the league itself. And hopefully our fan base will see an event hosted in Prague someday. We hope Riot will do that for us. But yeah, all of us appreciate here the Czech guys, and we all support them. And
I love it. Thank you so much. Make some noise, Vitality fans. Hopefully we'll get a couple of more games, or maybe it will just be Movistar Koi. That close it out.
Thank you for that insightful interview, Shocks. I mean, I don't know. I didn't get a lot of faith from them. I didn't get a lot of energy. I did get the, please bring it to Prague.
All right, we're going to be positive. What were those drafts? I'm like, wait, that's not how this goes.
And then it was like, what would you rather be, last in playoffs or MVP?
I would also choose MVP.
He's still MVP, right?
And not last in playoffs.
They even questioned the MVP. I mean, look, there needs to be more energy coming from the Vitality squad because a reverse sweep is needed. to give them the best option in playoffs. Otherwise, they have to run the lower bracket, which would be not 1, not 2, not 3, but then 4 to win the championship, 3 to get to MSI. But it is again about Vitality's first championship that we thought this split they might have a chance.
I mean, if they are to win this series, they really gotta be resilient right now. But we're going into the draft right now. You see already Varus up and available will be first picked here by MKOI. Do not know where that is gonna go. You know, when a Mirror's on the team, you don't know where Varus is going. So it could go to Super, could go to Mirwin. But it will be answered by the Illusion and what looks like to be a Milio, which is something that we've seen brewing here in the LEC.
Ok, ajmo da vidimo. Ko što Mate reče, Generational Tro, ako ovo uspiju da izgube. Sad ćemo samo da vidimo da li će to da se izdogađa. Ja sam rekao, u LEC-u me više ništa ne čudi. Pogotovo na kojem što smo gledali juče, tako da ovdje u teoriji, kažem, Vitality bi stvarno trebao nešto da se pita. Ovo izgleda kao da je ovo onaj stari Vitality koji je ono jedva ušao u playoff na nekoj 8. poziciji i onda koji je top 2, top 3 u Evropi i slemaju ih, mislim, nemam pojma.
You really want to ban Yasuo, because Varus top has one bad matchup, and that is Yasuo. And if there's someone that plays Yasuo in the league, it is Nako. So really hope they do their due diligence and ban that. Otherwise, we might be on a show. Have a show ahead of us.
I'm also a little unsure on the Annie pick, to be honest, though, because Annie, I feel like she kind of wants things that are like easy to engage on, where she can get a lot of value, but running into a Chains of Corruption, always a little bit difficult as Annie. Plus, into Zaya, who can try and ult away, makes it a little bit more difficult to try and play.
Annie, apsolutno fajn u Varusa. U smislu da Varus svako ne bi trebao stako od pune mara ako ti je top lane physical damage i Annie bi trebala možda ga shota od 100 do 0. A ako on ode na full tank, treba će malo više vremena razvije DPS koju očekuješ od Varusa, tako da Duše da malo ima su stekove.
In the LCK we saw some Nafiri top being played into Varus as an answer, so we'll see where Nako takes this.
What do you think about Quintop into Varus?
Oh, that's horrible.
Okay, good. I just wanted to rule that out because, again, we're talking about Nako. Aziz's going to be the final mid lane ban here as well. There goes Jax, which would have been a leaping option. What do we have?
Well, I mean, if you really want to counterpick there, Varus, I think Arella is probably the best pick. You go Exhaust and you start to all-in him. Arella is one of the best top laners against all these ranged matchups. Do expect we might see a jungle pick here, just to take it away. I'm thinking something like a Skarner would make a lot of sense with their comp. I'm sure how nice or how good Liz is on the Skarner. I don't think we've seen him play it just yet, this split. So they are thinking about it very heavily. Will be the Jace lock in here, going up top against the Varus. Is a solid matchup, has the range, obviously can land those shock blasts, but in the all-in, Jace does struggle against Varus, so might need a little bit of help, maybe some roams from Humanoid, or a lot of help from the jungle would also be great.
Yeah, I'm curious what they want to try and do, because Trundle is also something that can kind of be a nuisance on both sides, but also isn't great in the champion pools as a whole, right? Because if you go for like a Skarner, or like I personally like Lucian with things like a MKOI, then a Trundle can steal away a bunch of those stats, make it a little bit annoying, but also you kind of don't have a huge amount of engage on either side right now, so the Trundle not really going to provide a ton in that regard, so I'm a bit curious as to exactly what way this win is going to pan out with Trundle.
Curious about the Jace though, just to reiterate, flex still, right? Linz is still a Jace jungle player.
Oh, absolutely, yeah.
But
could still be a flex, but what else would you really like into the Varus right now is what I'm kind of thinking about, as at least it will be locked in for Elyoya. Hopefully have a better showing than Skumon did yesterday. Looked like a bit of a struggle for that.
Hey, but he had two kicks.
He had two great kicks, yeah.
Two kicks and suddenly the best.
The blitzcrank of the jungle.
He did the meteors, were just scaled out throughout the game.
Damn.
Okay.
That's going to go into jungle Olaf?
It's
jungle Olaf?
Jace jungle.
Or Jace jungle?
I think it's Olaf jungle initially, because Olaf before level 6 really struggled against the Varus, but seeing how they're hovering here, might just be the Olaf top into the Varus. But to reiterate, the Olaf top into Varus...
Da, pa ne, mislim sve i generalno su sve lige, vrate, ono više nema pravila. Najiskrenije.
So what do we think, Dagda? Happy with the draft? I mean, Vitality's drafts, like game 2 was a lot of question.
Like, Annie is your only engaged, like, your hard CC. Like, no one else apart from, like, Melio Kick, really, right? Or a JC. If JC's using his E as an engaged tool, like, things have gone desperately wrong in the middle of this fight. So,
I mean,
I think Vitality a bit strange.
Yeah, I mean, you're playing with range. With the Jace Lucian comp. You're playing around chunks. Lucian dashes forward, gets a chunk. You play around the accelerated shock blasts. And then if someone gets really low, then Olaf can suddenly run in together with an Annie on a flank or something.
Yeah, but it's not like you're completely short range on MKOI side of the opposite end, right?
Not.
And you've got a lot of mobility, because even using Elyoya basically as a, like, ward hop to allow Rakan to E to then go in with the ult as well is an option. So there's a lot of mobility with this jungle support for him.
Well, hopefully for Vitality fans, they'll look at this on MKOI's side and say, don't worry, we've got Elyoya on Lee Sin, who has lost the last 5 of his Lee Sin games. But funnily enough, his last win was versus Vitality in 2023 Spring Playoffs. And remember that Vitality, this is a team that hasn't placed first since 2023. It has been a long time running, but here today they have been tested by the experience of MKOI. We get into this game. Where do you guys want to start?
So look at this. Jojo had walked up and put this lane ward for Merwin to make sure that Olaf cannot just stand here and just all in him and Sony from the wave. Because usually what happens is that Olaf
solidno crtanje.
And then suddenly he just retreats into this bush. But now if he does that, Merwin can then ward this bush again and have control over 2 different bushes to completely dominate this early laning phase. So nice little team play.
Yep, there's the next ward, as you said, back to the back bush.
Yeah, so now he has to go to the 3rd bush, and that's a sad bush. He can't really run there. He can't have to farm with the axes.
Sad bush jeste, slažem se. Služaš bo?
We're now gonna have full control of this matchup, because it's all about dodging those axes, because if you get hit by those, maybe the ghost will come out, maybe an all-in will be looked for, but now
No, je otišao na Dorlan s Helm i on ide na relativno beefy, mada mislim ima i ghost, ima i flash, tako da ono.
We're looking to get the flash here from Nucka versus Mirwin, and looking to just charge him down so that the Varus can't do really anything, especially at 6.
I mean, absolutely, and Mirwin acknowledges that and actually has started the Doran's Helm again.
He loves the helm!
With the Doran's Helm, Varus now giving him a little bit more tankiness, will reduce his oppressiveness in lane a little bit, remove a little bit of that damage, but still making him a little bit more fortified for the all-in.
I mean, he did get buffed by 30 health. I don't know if that's enough really to push it over the line, but Mirwin seems to think so. He's got a bit of a lead and a pushing wave. Undertow going to be used through the wave to tag Mirwin again.
Oh, looking maybe a transitional gank here from Elyoya towards the mid lane. Humanoid a little overextended.
Yeah, Humanoid does go in, get the stun. Here we go, safeguarding, gets the flash immediately. Humanoid pays respect.
Nicely done by Elyoya. So just clearing his camps, like, cool, I can wander through mid and look for something early. And Humanoid not respecting it, because let's be real, you don't see a huge amount
Goes a
of this
ghost.
early, as Mirwin taking
Flash, basic E sekira u kill, ali ne znam da li imao to. Plus i Mirwin ima flash, tako da ono.
It's Alvaro going to be dead, waiting for the piercing light to come through. That was a relentless pursuit in as Blade Caller gets the stun by Super. They did charge using the cozy campfire range to show why Millia Lucian can be quite oppressive.
A very strong bot lane. And he's going to be difficult to play against. Like Xayah Rakan, you don't really have, like, you aren't that threatening until you hit level 3 at least. So you get access to that full rotation, especially in the Xayah. But even after that, you just don't really get to fight up against Lucian. It's very difficult to try and get your feathers down in positions that Lucian can't really just dash around. And this is going to be tough. I think this is where you will need to see Elyoya trying to come down at a couple of key moments to try and alleviate some of that pressure so Super Nalbro can farm.
And now crucially, the top lane wave is bouncing here for Nako back into Mirwin. Elyoya is in the top side here doing the crab. Could look for something there, but Mirwin still commanding this matchup really well. Elyoya will then move back into the bot side. Probably Mirwin is just gonna break this bounce and just start pushing.
Yeah, we'll have to see if this is gonna be the plan as Humanoid.
Okay, gang flash, immediate hammer down for Jojo, seismic shove back. That saves his life. Safeguard as well. Heals any kind of burning, or at least stops it in its track.
I don't know what how Jojo is that calm. That man did not flash when he's on like sub 100 HP.
He didn't budge at all.
I would be like spamming that button the second Jace ended up on my lane, but Jojo holding on and sticking around in the mid lane. Fair dues, lad.
Yeah, I mean, he knows he's safe now as well, because Humanoid can't surprise him with like a flash, burn, stun, or anything. Like, he's chilling now because he outranges the Annie. Doesn't really have to base even. He can just push his wave out and now get a full base with the maximum goal he could have achieved at this moment. So he's chilling.
I mean, that's mid-jungle for you this series. They've been putting on a clinic, and let me just remind you all that last game Jojo overstepped the boundaries which we thought was possible. Top of the solo kills, including Spring Split and playoffs now. Naka was up there at 17. Jojo last game pulled up, what, 2?
2, yeah. So he is now
solo kills.
Ascended to 20 solo kills in one split.
That is insane.
It's a massive number.
Yeah.
I don't know how he keeps finding them. I don't know how many was on Akali. I need to know that because he's had a lot of Akali solo kills that I've seen. Okay, like he's been on a tear on this champion. As maybe Alvaro would look for something here.
Cozy Campfire is going to be used, but Kazi wants to get away from there. Doesn't feel cozy at all. Soccer ball gets thrown out. MKOI fine in the lane though as they push up and get better trade.
Yeah, it's hard for Alba to try and look for the all-in. The dash is always available for Karzi, and then you can very quickly start to play backwards into that. So I think for Alvaro, kind of just holding on, trying to use that threat. But yeah, going to be difficult again for Super and Alvaro to really effectively trade here.
Good side step from Jojo as well. Humanoid doesn't get any damage out as well. Tibbers comes out, but that's just to get some pressure off because Jojo is stomping him in the lane. Humanoid gets low, and remember, he doesn't have the TP to rescind back to this mid. So if he gets pushed out, he's done for.
I even had a Storm Raider surge to space out the Tibbers AoE damage as well. It was a perfect trade from Jojo. Still showing command of this mid lane in this series. Dominating just like he did game 1 and game 2.
Plate's going to be taken because of it as well. Humanoid just hanging back on the turret. Tibbers trying to do some damage, but again, there's that plate. Seismic Shove not going to connect, hits a minion instead. Linz is coming to maybe support, maybe get...
Jenju u Italiju najresident stiper meča ikada, ali nema veze.
Mid jungle this series from MKOI has been so on point. There's been a bit of a diffy there as Kazi not going to get rooted back. He does sidestep, step back in. He's out of mana though. Cozy Campfire sets him up to go forward. He stands his ground to his credit, but MKOI has the better health bars. The Sonic Wave is going to connect onto Linces. Level 5 for Elyoya. Doesn't have the kick, but he does have the damage. Here's the wall as well. Elyoya gets slow, but Jojo comes on in, looks to poke out Kazi. Linces won't get the trade kill. First blood to Elyoya's Lee Sin.
Great play from MKOI, using Jojo's advantage mid to move it down to bot lane, and it's Linces that ends up getting caught out. He's been such a focal point for MKOI this series, and they continue to punish him.
I mean, it's just the Elyoya show this entire series. Now on the Lee Sin as well. A comfort pick for him, looking fantastic so far. Super Trooper, Piercing Knight's not going to find you just yet. We'll get the reset off.
Okay, replay for what this was, because Linces stepped up to the Drake to initiate.
Yeah, I think Elyoya saw that the Scuttle Crop was spawning top, was like, I probably can't really go for it, so I'll just use the advantage I have bot to try and make a play. And MKOI having the advantage from Jojo, perfect.
Ne znam šta je s Vitalitijem, iskreno. Iskreno nemam pojma šta je sa Vitalitijem.
So knowing that the Jace walking up without flash is just an easy target to commit on.
Undertow connects. Naka thinking about what he can do. Reckless swing as well. Getting low. Lethal tempo up from Mir when Hail of Arrows connects, but Naka doesn't burn anything else. Remember, he has that Ragnarok available and Chains of Corruption there for Mir when...
It's tense right now in the top end. Mirwin has to dodge the next axe. If this next axe connects, Naka could just fully all in and send it onto Mirwin.
The wave as well.
But then again, if the axe misses, suddenly Mirwin can look for an ult and
Elyoya is moving up though. Scuttle Crab is available for him, has level 6 as well, so Naka does go for the long chase down. Elyoya could try and help out. Probably needs to as well, just to make sure that Mirwin can crash this wave.
Yeah, but Mirwin is acting very docile right now. I don't think he wants to fight right now, because they also don't know where the Linces is. Like, sure, Elyoya is there, but if he walks up and gets axed, he might be dead before he even shows up.
We'll find him now. There's a Sonic Wave getting thrown. Resonating Strike.
Okay.
Dragon's Rage available. Linces taking big damage with the pickaxe. It's enough. So Linces flashes back with the safety of his inner turret while we look for the 2v2 in the bottom lane. A Blade Caller in is a good route onto Kazi. Culling going to come out. Only tags Alvaro. But Super and Alvaro have really changed this lane from what we saw earlier in the game to now a more successful 2v2.
Jojo getting good trade in mid as well, so MKOI trying to come alive on that top side of the map. Elyoya should be able to, with pushing this chase off, be able to pick up more as well. So Linces again looking a little lost in his own jungle.
But it's once again, we're seeing a Vitality comp, just like in game 1, where who's really the one walking up for space?
Undertow going to connect. There's a shock blast flashing away from Mirwin's going to be late. Second Undertow with Ragnarok in full swing. Getting that passive up. Undertow the flash to connect the blade, but Elyoya comes up for the trade. Off of Grubs with TP now being shown up by MKOI. A 1-for-1. Everything burned from our top laners.
I mean, it's a good pick by Naka. He needs to find something on this Varus right now. Linces was pivoting behind him, making sure he had the backup he needed, but it's a nice kick by Elyoya to burst him down before he gets to vamp up and just extend this fight. So 1-for-1, Grubs will be picked up as we rewatch this fight.
Yeah, you can see here Mirren thinking that this Olaf had actually gone for the reset, but it's a nice bait from Naka, waiting for Mirren to step up, immediately pops the ghost and just chase down Mirren. Nearly a save there, but just barely enough damage to finish off the Olaf.
Yeah, I think if Mirren held his flash a little bit and actually flashed the axe instead of just flashing nothing, I think he maybe could have kited a little bit more, but still 1-for-1, and Grubs picked up in favor of MKOI.
3 grubs and that as well. 1,000 gold lead for MKOI. All early games have been like this, it feels. We've had success for MKOI today. We've had patience. We've had all our keywords hit. Game 3 just it seems like a replica to the rest of the series it's already been. Gold lead mainly on Jojo with the CS lead, but Elyoya a decent amount. And despite the fact that, you know, he has 2 kills, it is only 300. However, it is Elyoya with an Eclipse here first on the lead sin. And damage is going to be quite nice to watch here against this comp with a bit of HP.
Just Human that has really struggled to make an impact in this series, I feel like, so far. Now with the Annie he picked early, he really want to sync up more with his team, because as an Annie you can't do much in the 1v1, so really needs to start finding these angles. It's all going to come down to the flashes. You see he's already picked up the lucidity boots to make sure he has as many uses of that flash summer spell as possible.
Yeah, and I think that is the big problem, right? It's like, how do you try and close the gap? You're getting very well walked around by Jojo in the mid lane, which means you're not really finding those angles to have Humanoid and Linces play aggressive on towards Jojo. And if that's the case, you're not burning these summoner spells, it becomes going to be more difficult.
Knock-up dodge away from Kazi now, looking to turn it around. Super takes big damage here from the BF Sword Lucian. That's kind of the burst trade you've come to expect here from the 2v2 if you've watched enough of this LEC split. Alvaro walks back in, Super's going to cancel his recall. And Kazi's going to try and get his off, I believe, first item there. I'm not sure about the gold value. But no, Kazi cancels it in the end as Dragon number 2 starts. And remember, this is how First Blood went around last time. But Linces is nowhere to be seen on the bottom side, rather, this time.
Yeah, looks like they will try to cross-map this Dragon with a top side play. You see Linces already leading up, but you see Jojo Pyun with the mid-prior just defending his top laner. They're leaving no play available for Vitality. Vitality will have to give this Dragon, and with a mid-push by Jojo, defends the other side as well. So very nice synchronization here by the MKOI comp.
Yeah, there's like, leave no stone unturned, and MKOI have unturned every stone, trying to see if Linces is underneath the stone, but may have missed this one, as Linces is in position, but Mirren backing away completely here, as MKOI actually forcing Fleshy and Karzi away as they move into the bottom side jungle.
Yeah, you see he's giving this wave now, because now Jojo Pyun, instead of hovering top side, is now hovering bot side to make sure they're putting a lot of pressure on this bot side tower, because what do they have? They have the free grubs. They know they win a race. As long as they are hitting tower and the enemy is hitting tower, they are getting it way faster. So Mirren is...
Razmišljam eventualno što može se dogodi ovaj game. Talija, Lee Sin, ovaj komp ceo koja, no kako Varus top scale je ok, Zai scale je ok, može jako, jako da opadne.
Yeah, Rumble was game 1.
Okay. This to me is just the same as what happened in that same game.
I onda razmišljam da je možda to u stvari neki ugao gdje ekipa Vitalitya može da se vrati nazad.
Sonic Wave, no resonating strike. Elyoya tried to reposition, but Linces flashed again.
Yeah, I don't know actually what Elyoya was trying there, to be honest.
He just jumped over,
Yeah, I was kind of like, oh, you've got flash, and you are trying to predict the flash over the wall to get the flash kick back in or something. But
on the Super, trying to pull out the Feather Storm. He's just going to heal up instead. That's from Alvaro. Ulti down from Kazi again and not finding a kill.
Still, good pressure from Karzi and Fleshy here, and I think this is kind of where at least it has been something to try and fight back, but with losing that last set of waves and then also the turret plates, you can see Super now up towards his first item. He's matching the cold pops as well, is going to be big, so it's not exactly like you've completely taken Super and Alvaro out of the game with the way this has gone so far.
I'll say Naknako has accumulated a solid lead in the top side, around 600 gold now, has a really nice freeze here, making life hell for Movement. You see level 9 to level 10. Canon needs to farm with that arrow, because if he walks up, he gets hit by an axe. It's probably gonna be his flash or ghost, or even worse, a death.
Vjerovatno je mogu da prođe malo bolje čak nego... Razmišljam u stvari... Mislim, ovo je prvi game gdje je Naknako dobio iole carry potencijal na heroju. Što mi je mnogo drago, jer mislim zaslužuje da proba da nosi svoju ekipu. Da su izgubili cijelu seriju s tim da on igra ono dog top lanere, baš je shit. Humanoid je mrtav.
Beautiful, but MKOI just they realized top lane is really difficult. We have the grubs. Look what they did. They sent 4 people bots to just pressure that tower super fast. Mirren needed to base, opens up mid, make sure he catches a wave. They're dropping 1 top wave, but they're getting so much gold from those tower plates, and they're getting so much tempo on the map now. You're gonna see Jojo Pyun open up top center and defend, and all the boys are gonna show up here again.
Yeah, really nicely done. And the fact now you can send Jojo to catch that top wave as well, as you say, means that it's a little bit more difficult to try and chase down Mirren in that top lane. So overall, nicely played. Naknako just waiting as long as possible, so then as much gold as possible is lost in that top end. But overall, I think MKOI still in a fantastic spot now as this game continues.
Yeah, I think MKOI really wants to match the Syrakon into the Olaf, because Talia into Olaf is really difficult, because she can just try to shove him away. If you Ragnarok that, you can just run her down completely in a long lane. Same with Varus, kind of struggles in the 1v1, so if you can find a way to put the Saya into the Olaf lane.
Kazi flashes away. Alvaro did use the battle dance to get in range. Quickness now burn with Zeke's up and active, but I think the biggest thing for me is every time Elyoya's near someone, he gets a respect flash. He's pulling out summoners left, right, and center.
Vitality fanovi giga raspoloženi, mislim respekt za njih. Ali da, znaš šta je fora, što ja iskreno mislim da je ova serija mnogo pod uticajem EVC qualifiera. Jer je koji ubio Vitality u EVC qualiju. I mislim da je zato Vitality malo ucavljen ovdje. Jer koji ih je 2-0 dobio u EVC qualiju.
That's crazy. Like Fleshy tried to hit the blast cone because there was nothing in front of it, but still, he didn't manage to do it. Very, very odd. Super nice play there, obviously, by MKOI, completely nullifying the attempt from Fleshy to get out of that with the blast cone. And once again, Jake, as you highlight, another great pick by Elyoya, completely commanding this early to mid game for MKOI.
And that's why I'm worried here. I mean, it is the MKOI series, but for Vitality, this is your first seed, who, although have done it before in a regular season, have never given us something in playoffs above third in the history of this organization. And Vitality, big organization obviously in CS across the world, a known name. But here in League of Legends, one international once in 2018. Apart from that, nothing else to speak of.
Meni je to bukvalno, taj defeat na EVC-u mislim da ih je mnogo potresao. Mislim potresao, poljuljuju im samo pouzdanje. Iako mislim da je Vitality realno igrao mnogo bolje od koje je ceo split. Sad su samo malo prsti, izgleda i to je to.
Breath of fresh air. Didn't just come from Fletchy, it came from Kazi kiting it out.
I mean, it's a caster blessing that finally Humanoid finds a great pick on Elyoya. He goes a little bit too deep and just dies in the CC by Riani. A little bit overzealous there from MKOI, and will be a nice dragon out scoop of Vitality, which they desperately need this game because they need to claw their way back slowly but surely.
Yeah, still looking for more. Supa tries to step up. Karzi wants to try and use the wave to get the plates, but Supa does a good job of clearing at the wave and not getting caught. Vitality though, break collapse, get dragon. Jojo though getting some nice plates on top side. We get a replay here as we get into it.
Yeah, so Alvaro thinks he's fine to play here together with... Okay, never mind, we're already fighting.
Let us pursuit out, but the damage enough. Featherstorm will get the kill. And Supa's on a killing spree.
Ma da, oni su gotovi. Oni su bukvalno gotovi. Gledam šta rade, ali ovo je baš ekipa koja mislim da je... Da je ono polugotova s ovim gameom.
Walk it off. Yeah, Kazi, I guess, in the last fight. He didn't even burn the flash in the last fight, but he must have just been caught out mid.
Yep, overstepped. And Alvaro there to help out Supa to make sure that they could chase him down. And now, wait a sec.
They are sending him. Minman's going to get stunned up. Tipper's on top as well with a shock blast combo. Going into Hammerfall. Linces does not send it. Even though Humanoid was tanking up, he doesn't go in for the dive. They turn instead to find Elyoya on his red side jungle. 3 members of Vitality in the brush and Sonic Wave. Not going to be a resonating strike. He knows. Wade takes it anyway. Gets the red buff. Kicked away as the Olaf. But red secured.
There was a really fun little mind game happening there when Linces went on to Mirwin. So it looked like Linces was in melee form, was just gonna Q Mirwin, but he didn't do it. But it's because if Mirwin just flashes the Jace Q and then ults him, suddenly the Jace dies. So Mirwin just holds his flash very calmly, waiting for the ability that never came out and just walked out of that play. So won't really be a big punish onto him. And Elyoya got his red buff. Happy times.
Yeah, I still don't Vitality, like they are trying desperately to get in and find any sort of play that they can, like, and every time it seems that they kind of like get their footing, it gets pulled out from underneath them by MKOI, right? Like we got that good play in mid, but suddenly
ne znam, nemaju toliko loš draft ovaj put. Nako je relativno jak, ali ne znam, jako čudno.
Mirwin walks away.
Elyoya actually had the Rift Herald, so couldn't go for a ward jump insect there.
I see.
Otherwise, I've actually been Humanoid would be dead. So, little funny. Will put down the Rift Herald, so now he has that ward up and available. Humanoid walking up.
Tibbers comes out. Good damage as well from Humanoid. Tibbers almost getting the kill onto Elyoya. Herald gets a charge regardless. As Scorching Flame Kick is not going to do anything here. Tivers almost dies, and LEC does survive.
Will just be the plates coming in for MKOI once again. I feel like MKOI, when they get these grubs, they really accelerate the pace by just getting these plates so rapidly. You see them moving around the map. That rotation towards bot earlier they did just to crack the bot side tower, and now the map is completely open. Top tower almost down. All the tier 1s, mid, bot, and top are down. Just all the gold that you see in MKOI is pretty much from the plates right at this point.
Also interesting to see Super's build, going for the very early BT as well, or at least having a Vamp Scepter. Basically saying, look, I know that I'm getting poked down by Carzy pretty continuously. And we already kind of said, look, for Vitality, a huge amount of this kind of relies on, hey, we want to get like poke from the Lucian and the Jace and have that all-in potential from the Annie. So I think it's a good call from Super to try and keep himself topped up.
Weaver's wall, humanoid, seismic shove, he's right on it. He goes through the unraveled earth, so he's stunned up, and that's an easy kill over to Super again. Alvaro is the delivery boy, and Super.
Kolele ubiše ih.
I mean, Alvaro on these engaged champions just looks so alive on the map. He's
the Cardi though. Culling, root up. We pause there. He's alive, Finn, you are right.
Yeah. I mean, Alvaro on these engaged sports just looks like a different player completely. He's completely unchained. He can finally go for solo plays here. They are looking on the flank, on the Carzy.
Sonic Wave gonna connect. Carzy stands his ground, piercing like good damage. Relentless pursuit forward as well.
I dalje mislim ako potregim da postoji šansa, ali nemam pojma.
And he keeps trying to send it, but always mitigated by someone on MKOI.
That's the way you want to try and play around a Lucian like this, right? Like, trying to make sure that he can actually play aggressive on these item spikes. And Carzy's been pretty much mitigated, right? This Lucian isn't going to be as much of a threat in the fights. The Culling can still be nice, but it's a near 3k gold lead for Super, who was struggling so far in the early laning phase.
I mean, absolutely. And the only gold lead in the favor of Vitality right now is that Olaf. But of all the 80 carries to play Olaf into, Asaya is by far the worst. It's so difficult to dive her just because she has so much single target damage up front, but also the ult to kind of stall out your ultimate a little bit. It's super painful to play. So really we'll probably try to look on Jordan instead, but he needs to perform a miracle in these fights.
So you're just trying to run down the Xayah, looking at this trail of feathers building up behind you going, I'm on a timer here.
Yeah,
like, there's going to be a moment where that E button press gets
It's a little bit menacing for sure.
Mislim, malo manje loš game nego prethodna dva, I guess. Da postoji nešto malo šanse da u stvari možda nešto mogu da urade, ali ne znam. Ne obećava.
Not finding a second mark, and Jojo actually winning out and sustaining the Storm Raider surge did quite a lot of work as Weaver's Wall turns the play. He turns his head and finds another angle. Weaver's Wall now down as Lizard has to get out and flashes again. And meanwhile, MKOI found a pick through this mid lane. Carzy's down.
Jojo is creating so much pressure on the map with MKOI. He gets the ultimate from Naknako, immediately turns mid. MKOI peeled off to get that Baron to get a pick. And now he's just zoning off humanoid.
Yeah, I think what happened is that MKOI just started the Baron, and then suddenly Vitality tried to walk up and contest it, but I see Mirwan's ult is down. I imagine he just found a pick somehow onto Carzy, and now they extended that pick into more flashes mid, and now the Baron is actually secured by MKOI.
Wow. We're looking at a sweep, gentlemen. We are looking at a 3-0 from our 4th seed against what was presumably one of our best teams. As Humanoid's going to face check and get punished. Dragon's going to be taken down, but now Vitality got to get the hell out of this bottom side of the map. MKOI are coming, and like sharks, they're
možda malo nade za VIT, možda malo nade za VIT.
bitten into the flesh, and MKOI are doing the due diligence to seal the job and finish off this series.
I mean, we're not in Hollywood, but they are movie stars right now. They are just completely running the map. It doesn't seem like Vitality has been able to touch them this series. Naknako has had a great series. We expected him to go up against
Jace isto ništa ne radi. Humanoid baš ništa ne radi.
Hasn't really found the impact that is dearly was needed by him.
Naknako jadan. Morao da blinda u Varusa, to jest da igra u Varusa. Odigrao solido na topu, gepovo ga za 50 CS-a, izgubio game, ode kući. Mislim, loser bracket im je mnogo teži. Jer moraju dobiti... Znači da su ovo dobili, bili bi top 3 plus loser, mislim moraju pobede 3 ili 4 partije da se vrate nazad, tako da... Loser bracket baš ne prašta ove sezone.
Just trying to steal away the blue buff. Meanwhile, MKOI are just channeling up towards the top side of the map. They're tracking Vitality with ease, and at 24.5 minutes as we go to 10,000 gold in the lead for MKOI. Vitality on their last legs. They'll have to make a lower bracket run because this TP from Nuko seems like he wants to send it, but he'll get nothing done with it. Elyoya's not even here. It's just that MKOI weren't that far up in the lane.
But they also don't know where Elyoya is right now, so they don't know if he's just waiting in the jungle or what he's up to. So in a 3v5, Vitality are still scared to pull the trigger.
It's gonna be a slow burn here for MKOI as the flash goes out.
Oh, Jojo's reaction time to go golden though. Sensational flash seismic shove doesn't connect for Kazi. Out with the culling. Jojo's going to match him with a threat of volley, but Mirwin about to come on in. Auto, hail of arrows, breath of light, but the ulti onto Humanoid. Wait for the Q, the knock up Alvaro. They send it in. MKOI back on top. Top 3 indeed. We down to the...
Vidi, dobili su ih EVC u 2-0, ovdje ih dobiju 3-0, tako da ne znam čemu Vitality ima da se nada, najiskrenije. Ja sam nekako želeo da verujem da EVC quali nije toliko bitan ekipama, da ne ulazimo sad u što, ali kao ko zna, zna. Mislio sam da samo neke ekipe ne žele da igraju EVC uopšte i onda su namerno Intel qualis, što mi je nekako bilo logično. Međutim, izgleda je samo da je koji bolji. I opet gledamo ovu fazovnost, ma ima nade, ne, G2 će da ih ubije 3-0, gledajte što sam rekao, znači, bit će ih. Jer je G2 playoff forma očigledno najjača stvar u životu i niko im ne može ništa u Evropi. I to je za MSI quali, tako da... Ne znam, ja sam mislio su možda samo namerno dropovali EVC. Mislim, znam da je malo ono kao unpopular opinion i to. Jer kao svaki turnir koji igraš trebaš ga igrati da vinaš i sve to. Ali sam legitimno mislio da ima ljudi, to jest ima ekipa koja samo hoće da batale EVC. Ne žele da učestvuju i to je to. Da, mislim best of 5 je, ali... Best of 5 je, tako da možda bude 2-1 po i vrate, ali ne verujem. Vidjet ćemo. Vidjet ćemo. Biće gigafan, to je sigurno.
The regular split, and now in the playoffs, it feels like he's finally reached that form that he's happy with. Like, I would actually give player of the series to Elyoya, counting that game 1 where he completely demolished the Vi on the Wukong, constantly being the man, pushing the game forward here on the Lee Sin. What a phenomenal series by Elyoya.
But I want to go back to what you were saying, like the presence of every player on this team. Like, it does feel like you give the mantle to any one of them, and they will carry. In game 1, it was Elyoya who got the early lead and was able to carry through it. Jojo on the Akali was absolutely insane.
Ne znam, nemam pojma. Ja kažem, da, ali ne znam. G2, kažem, bukvalno nema smisla. Znači, G2 je ono mid-tier team dok ne dođe do play-offa, onda u play-offu samo su u fazonu, mi smo najjači ikada. Jako čudno. Bilo kako bilo. Ostavit ću intervju malo da rana. Mi se vidimo nešto kasnije na Movie Nightu na Discordu, tako da od tada vam želim veliki poz i vidimo se malo kasnije.
Yeah, I mean, it obviously felt bad seeing him lift MVP and they're all really happy, so I think I took it pretty personal today, but I mean, obviously he had a great split, so I'm not mad at it, but it was personal.
Yeah, I can imagine for sure. Tell me a little bit about the newfound MKOI that we saw on the Rift today. When we were in Madrid, you guys did good, but the early games weren't good. This was like a different team. Tell me about the work you did.
I mean, low-key, I knew we'd play really well today because we've been running it down in scrims the whole week, and I feel like when that happens, we usually just turn up on scrims, so I had a really good feeling today, and I mean, it happened, so I'm happy.
Yeah, it does indeed. How did you feel overall in terms of the positions that you were put in drafting-wise? Because my analyst did tell me that maybe you had kind of, a red carpet rolled out for you because it didn't seem like there were that many issues for you guys.
Yeah, I think our drafting today was really good. I mean, Melza just said, like, he's just going to do the draft alone because the players obviously want to give inputs, but he's just going to do the draft, and I mean, he outdrafted the enemy, so... Yeah, give him the hand.
Interesting, because we did hear a quote also. I don't know who said it, if it was Supa or Alvaro from Madrid. It's like, yeah, Jojo was helping to call, and then Yoya just said, shut up, I'm going to do it. And now Melzet is saying, shut up, guys, I'm going to draft. Tell me a little bit about the process that you guys can all give each other light to shine.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like on all my teams, that was the most successful. We just said whatever we thought. We weren't really scared of saying anything. So it's not really, it wasn't really a big drama. Like it's pretty normal and it happens every day. So if somebody sees it and they just are confident, then we're just going to follow. So yeah.
Yeah, it's nice to see, and I think it's paying off as well. You're now in a position where tomorrow you're fighting G2 for a spot at MSI, similar for MKOI to kind of last year and how everything went. Tell me about that rematch, because you just beat them in Madrid.
Yeah, I mean, for sure, G2 is going to be angry because we beat them last time in Madrid, right? So I think tomorrow is obviously going to be much more tougher than today, but I think if we just focus on our own prep and how we want to play, I think it'll be a really fun series and really close series.
Okay, besides that, any fighting words for Caps and G2?
For who?
For Caps and G2.
I mean, I think they got to play really well tomorrow. I'm confident that we're going to play really well, so just play well and it'll be fun.
Okay, play your own game. Thank you so much, Jojo. Congratulations, it's MKOI with a chance to make it to MSI tomorrow. As we're gonna head over to PGL.
PR masterclass from Jojo. Who trained them to be this good at PR?
I mean, I think he's trained already from NA, you know?
Yeah?
Like when he came here, I already realized that he speaks really well, you know? And he also listens really well.
Yeah. But it's nice to talk to him, though.
It is.
It is.
But easy day, had the job
Yeah.
today. I was...
What the hell? Like, we really expected this to be closer.
I expected some degree of fight, some humanity from Vitality, because I felt like they were not really alive today, even because all of those drafts were just bad, and I felt like it felt way too easy. Tell me about that.
I mean, I expected 3-0, but I also expected that the games will be more chaotic because I think it's a strength that they have. But I could also see that they were doubting a lot on when they wanted to play aggressive. I could see it as well on the VIT game that, I mean, Linkas was just going on me on Seraphine. I felt like he was like really desperate. But, I mean, I think they're still a strong team. But as I said before the playoffs started, I thought he was the fourth team from the LEC.
Was it one of those series where... Because I had this as a player sometimes where you just know that the enemy's choking against you. Was it kind of one of those?
I mean, we thought yesterday that like we were not really that scared, and I don't think that they were gonna perform that well. I think also their schedule was a bit rough because they haven't played for 3 weeks already in official, and also they come from losing the qualifier in 2 sifters. So, of course, you never know. They can come maybe more prepared and more fresh with ideas, but I think having that many time to, in a way, to think, I think can be not the best as well.
I actually agree with you. I think low-key, the schedule situation did them dirty. I really think so, but it is what it is. You have to kind of play with the cards you were given, right? And that's where I do want to turn it on you guys, because I feel like I saw a completely different side of Movistar KOI. We saw how you played in Madrid, which was good. You beat G2, but the early games were never really the way we know you can play. So tell me a little bit about the work that you did there and the changes that you made.
I mean, we always have the mentality that the best team is the one that can adapt to the situations. I think you can always think that, okay, the schedule is bad and just put the excuse on that, but in reality it's what you want to, or what you do towards it. Like, if you're having an issue and you adapt yourself to basically not make it be that big of a drama, then you are becoming the better team possible. And I think in our team we are really capable of doing that, because also we have been setting the same team for two years, so we know each other when we do mistakes and how we can solve it. But yeah, I mean, already coming from Madrid, I see that overall our expectations as well and how good we are playing, I think is still can be shown much better version of ourselves. But I think we are on the right path and we are really confident that we are taking the LEC.
Okay, but tell me, why is it always the same? Regular season MKOI, you guys suck.
And then you're mad at us that we don't give you props, but it's guys.
And then we get closer. 2 weeks left to playoffs. MKOI becomes alive again. 1 week to playoffs. Man, MKOI is really scary. And then MKOI in playoffs, you guys are Thanos. So why is it the same every single time?
I mean, it is true that I think we have really class players. I think also when the tension is higher, we are a team that always shows up. And at the same time, I think our personality kind of helps, because I think everyone is putting the effort, and also we are training a lot the resilience. I think as well we are the team that trains the most how do you say it, like endurance mentally. I think during the year we are training a lot and we are putting a lot of effort as well on our body as well, because we are doing gym, I'm going walking, coming back home. I think I'm really prepared for the series as well, both on the mental part and on the physical. So I think it also makes the difference on the playoffs, because we are playing 5 games. Of course, some teams are going to be more prepared as well for the best of threes. But yeah, I think if you combine all of the things that I said, I think it also shows that, I mean, in Spanish we said, cuando las papas queman, like, yeah, Koi just shows up, so.
Our key player of the series was Elyoya. And yeah, he had a great series and he's great overall. I know there was a lot of chatter online also about kind of the first all-pro team and how the only MKOI player that was there was Jojo Punin. I know a lot of fans were kind of pissed off about that. To be fair, they get pissed off a lot about a lot of things, AORUS. But yeah, can you also talk me through kind of that, not just the all-pro, but in general what we talked about as well, that people always do like to undervalue you. And I feel like we talk about this every split, and you kind of say the same thing every split, right? But do you take it personally, or do you just, or as motivation?
I don't really take it personally. I mean, I think there are also a lot of people that don't know that much about the game as the people that are inside as well. So I think it's harder to take, like, to value, because, of course, for example, in our team, we have shown in regular split that when I'm not on engage, we're not that strong. So that can also be that I'm not that good on engage on enchanters. But I don't think that is that big of a problem. I think it's mostly as well on the confidence that we're having as a team, because it doesn't really show in those games. So I think in regular season I couldn't really like, I mean, I didn't really like sign that much. And I mean, coming now to playoffs, I'm just gonna show that I'm the one, like the best super, you know?
Yeah, I feel like we've already seen it. Do you feel like, in terms of playing the enchanters and whatever, and the agency that you have on the game, I feel like you're a lot more comfortable with it now, the last couple of weeks.
And I mean, there are a lot of champions that I still haven't shown, but I mean, I'm really confident and comfortable. Doesn't even have to be enchanters, can be mages and everything, and you know, I'm willing to play it out. I was even thinking, I mean, I don't care, you know, but today I was maybe first time in Yumi, if it was a possibility. So I don't really care. I will just pick whatever I think is the best, and I think it's also something that is really enjoyable and makes you play better because you enjoy more as well.
You think Yumi is enjoyable?
I mean, winning is enjoyable. So if it's giving me the most chances of winning, maybe I go. But yeah, in the end, we went for the Chaya Rakan, but maybe tomorrow, you know.
Yeah, maybe tomorrow. Tomorrow versus G2. Odo, what are your first thoughts with this MKOI that we saw today? And honestly, G2 yesterday, everybody, playoffs, G2 is so crazy.
Yeah, G2 smashed them yesterday, and MKOI played.
But they also threw like 7 times.
Yeah, but I've also seen MKOI throw 7 times, many times. So tomorrow, I feel like it's just gonna be Armageddon. I just want to enjoy the games because I feel like you guys are in pretty good form right now. I feel like G2 is in incredible form as well. They had 4K gold up at 15 minutes, 4 games in a row. So early game is gonna be a test. But we also saw MKOI have great early games. I just want everyone to have fun. I just want 5 games of fun. But I do think G2 will win. I'm sorry.
Oh.
I will prove you wrong tomorrow.
Why?
Because if I say this, I know that this guy will take it personal, and Jojo will take it personal, and then we're going to have the best series we can have tomorrow.
Yeah.
And we will show you tomorrow. Then.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I want.
They beat the all-pro bot lane already in Kalista and Busio, right? So how do you feel overall? Because there's a lot of people saying that maybe there's not enough credit given to the G2 bot lane. I think maybe in a way Lebrov still suffers from kind of what people historically thought about him, which I think is not true anymore. But how do you feel going up against them generally?
I mean, I think Lebrov didn't perform the best in the regular season, but anyways, he also has shown in first stand and overall that he's like, I mean, I think he's better than Busio. At least when I'm playing into him, I feel like it's way harder to play than into Busio. So, I mean, I think they don't get recognized as well as our bot lane, you know?
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, it's fine. I think many people as well look a lot on the stats, but not really on the gameplay itself. So, you know, if they want to look for that, I'm fine. I'm just going to collect my win. Even if I don't have the stats like positive, I don't mind.
Yeah, the stats don't tell the full picture, never. Thank you so much and congratulations,
Thank you.
AORUS. Tomorrow, a spot for MSI between G2 and MKOI, but still tonight because this was so early. So if you had any plans to watch all night, you can watch the LCS at 10 p.m. It's Team Liquid versus Lions, so you can watch that. And then you can watch G2 versus Movistar KOI tomorrow for a spot